Niners! Fans starting to heat up in Santa Clara now. It's not so quiet. 49ers are setting little fires here and there. They really are, finally. Oh, I've been waiting for these days to return. Boredom is over because the 49ers, it would appear they're going to try to boost their air attack. Now, maybe not. There could be other reasons why that they're allowing us to know about this. When I say allowing us, because the 49ers, when you find out something, the 49ers usually let it out. Because those guys are tighter than a tick's butt when it comes to keeping secrets in-house. Hey, every year without fail, during the offseason, Niners faithful follows us. We appear to be following breadcrumbs, right? Or clues as to what the Niners are up to regarding player personnel going into both free agency and especially the draft. Because the draft, you got plenty of time to build that drama up and talk about things. And there's some things that get really crazy here, too. The 2023 season, no different. None whatsoever. In fact, it may be enhanced a little more now that you see how things are starting to develop here. And some clues are now leading to possible additions to pass catchers from receivers to tight ends. I know nothing unusual about that. But when you look at who we have already established in these positions, and you're picking in third, fourth, fifth round and beyond, you just don't think about that. But you heard about the rumblings, right? The 49ers may be trying to work their way in the second round. That's neither here nor there. And be careful about these rabbit holes that the media is leading us down, because they could be. Just let it roll. Tonight, going to the phones after investigating some of the raw meat being thrown out to the fan base to feed upon and contemplate what may be in the draft regarding picks. Big Show, this is why I'm waiting for another couple of days before, because I know Show. Oh, Show's gonna I know you're gonna rearrange that draft, so I waited. So give me the green light on the show, because I'm thinking Friday we might consider doing that. Show. Fam, media reports have surfaced last week. The Texans could be looking for a new GM after this month's NFL draft, right? The first possible replacement on everyone's mind, of course, was to bother us Niners assistant GM Adam Peters to pair with first-year Texas head coach DeMeco Ryans, of whom I did not want going over there anyway. But Houston's current general manager, Nick Caserio, is adamant, saying he will not. I repeat, Nick says he will not be leaving to rejoin the New England Patriots. Stop it. Caserio told the Houston area media during opening remarks before discussing the upcoming NFL draft this, quote, "Honestly, I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street, but I'm not leaving." There's never really been any substantive discussions of the sort, unquote. You got to watch out, Nick, when you're running around that meeting every year. You could get targeted, and you could end up having to tell people things like this every year. 49ers do. How did the frightening for the Niners fans rumor get started in the first place? Longtime Houston-based NFL reporter John McClain, guilty as charged. He reported hearing rumblings from the NFL annual meeting that Caserio could leave to return to the Patriots after the draft. Who told you that? I mean, John, why? Also, former NFL executive Michael Lombardi said there will be organizational changes with the Texans after the draft. That's a broad statement. It doesn't necessarily mean that Caserio's leaving. Okay, shut up, McClain and Lombardi. No fruit cup for you guys for dinner tonight either. That's just awful. Stop it. And stop target other teams. How come other teams don't get this flack? You don't hear about other fan bases saying, wow, they're going to do it. No, it's only us. It's always us. We are the gullible cheap of the entire fan base, right? I guess. People think they just throw anything at the 49er fan base. They'll bite and get all kind of clicks. 8-year NFL veteran wide receiver Chris Conley signed a non-guaranteed one-year contract with the Niners on Monday, joining the competition for a regular season roster spot. Third-round pick of Kansas City Chiefs in 2015. Conley also had played for the Jacksonville Jags, the Texans, and Tennessee Titans. He's appeared in 109 games with 63 starts. His career stats consist of 217 receptions for 2,853 yards and 15 touchdowns. When I first read this, I didn't really have any emotions. I just said, well, I found out more about him. The guy runs a 4.3. He's got a vertical leap that's off the planet. Why can't he establish himself anywhere? It's the only thing I don't understand. He's 6'3", 2.5, 205. Split time last season with Houston and Tennessee. He caught a combined 4 passes for 46 yards while appearing in 9 games during the 2022 season. Also, and by the way, in somewhat related news, Jauan Jennings signed a 1-year deal as an exclusive rights free agent to be allowed to participate in the opening of the 49ers official season program, which is already underway. Jennings had career highs with 35 catches for 416 yards. He had 1 touchdown reception after producing 5 scores in 2021. Question here in my mind is, could Conley take snaps from Jauan? The 49ers, you know what we have to really understand and believe, fam? When the 49ers say they'll do anything to get better, they're not playing. And they don't care whose feelings they hurt, and especially ours. I like Jauan Jennings, and I think he's doing a fine job. I think he's going to get better. You had him enslaved to that contract that he had no place he could go, whether you sit out or sign this year. So Conley's going to join the competition among wide receivers for roster spots and playing time behind Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, of which he cannot touch. So Jennings and Ray McCloud were the next receivers on the team's depth chart last season. Other receivers currently on the team's. Fam, tell me if you've heard of these people before. 90-man offseason roster are Danny Gray. I'm kidding about Danny Gray. You know, fam, I'm trying to tell you right now. Conley is a deep threat, though. Yes, Danny Gray is a people think, there's a lot of people who think, well, Danny didn't have nobody who could throw the ball to him. Well, you see, here's the thing. God don't play that. Whoever's quarterbacking will throw the ball to Danny Gray. We don't have a quarterback that can't throw the ball over 30 yards. See, so apparently I have a feeling they wouldn't got Conley because Conley, if nothing else, is a great deep threat. Deep threat is not anybody who can run, number one. By the way, fam, you know this. I'm not talking to you. There are people who think we don't have the ability to go deep because the quarterback. We don't have receivers that's what they do. The 49ers actually drafted people. Ayuk is fast, but he's not a deep threat. But Ayuk will tear you apart running routes and getting separation. You want him from the short to intermediate, yes. Deebo, if he runs 5 yards, that's too many. Give him the ball. Hurry up. Give him the ball now. Okay, that's that. George Kittle. Kittle has that ability. He's fast, and he's getting better. But you're not going to throw your tight end all day because due to the position he plays and the position on the line he plays and what his assignments are, usually before he goes out, do that. You put him in a go route, and they're going to know it. The defense is, right? So your Devontae Adams, this guy Conley, I saw some film of him going deep, and he was killing people. He's not really fast as far as getting off the line of scrimmage and coming out of the slot or anything like that, but you run that boy deep, and he will smoke the defense. That's a deep threat, and they're good at tracking the ball normally and that type of thing. So the quarterback doesn't have to struggle to, where can I put it where he can catch it? No, quarterback just gets jump back and let that thing fly. The rest, that deep threat receiver will take care of. So that's why, and also Tay Martin and Daz Newsome, of whom I've never heard of, they're going to be camp fodder. Fam, I tell you what, Ian Rappaport at Rap Sheet, right? Sources, the Niners have received inquiries from several teams looking into a potential trade for former number 3 pick quarterback Trey Lance. The conversations have been the result of San Francisco fielding the calls, not making them with teams aware that Brock Purdy is likely the future starter. Here's the thing. Here's the rabbit holes I was talking about, right? Although Ian Rappaport is, usually he's sniffing up on something, and if it's not true, it's near true. He doesn't go where there's no smoke. And the 49ers, as I said, if the 49ers want anybody to know about anything, they'll know. If they don't, they're not going to know. Now, I don't know. I was watching what Grant said on this, too. Grant says, yeah, well, no matter what, the 49ers are, that's out there just to make sure that people continue to call. I said, oh, Grant, I think you got a point there. Otherwise, that would have never got out. How did that get out? 49ers are answering phone calls without saying we're putting Trey up. Um, and a lot of people are already saying that there is a big chance that Darnold's going to beat Trey out from that position. You know, as I say, these rabbit holes, I call them rabbit holes now because you go down them and you can't get up out of that darkness. So, whatever you choose to believe, go ahead. And if you want to talk about that, go ahead. But Rakeem, what's up, Rakeem? What's up? Hey, how are you, brother? Can I get a Rakeem? You know you get that anytime, man. I love making noise. Barack O'Neill, Cal trade Lance to the Clippers for nosebleed seats. You know, one thing about and what we have to get accustomed to is the 49ers have already told Kyle and John have both said if they can get something good for each other, they'll trade each other. Hey, you know what? When they said that, they ain't playing. Those guys, they're working the phones right now, as from what I understand, trying to make deals. These guys are not going to rest. They will not. You know, the Niners continue to do their due diligence on pass catchers for this upcoming draft. And for good reason, as I mentioned earlier, Juwan Jennings becomes a restricted free agent after this particular season. Kyle, yeah, we just did that. Okay. Danny Gray remains an unknown, and Ray McLeod didn't see the field unless Deebo Samuel wasn't on the field, right? He played he's a return man. So the 49ers looked at them as, we can move them out and get something better. You know, see, that's why when people always tell me, Ronbo, man, name in front of the jersey, man. Get over the back, man. You get too emotional over people's names. And I always will. You know, I like players. That's why I get my joy out of the game. When they 49ers make a move, and especially if it doesn't pay dividends or it's fruitless, God, I get mad. Especially with somebody that left that I liked. When you're selecting later in the draft, you're probably not looking to replace your top wideouts anyway. Talk about, the 49ers going to move up. So they probably are. This is a big year for both Debo and B.A. The Niners must determine if both wideouts' price tags are worth the talent, right? Ayuk will be under team control through the 2024 season. As John Lynch said, the Niners will pick up his fifth-year option, and he'll go kicking and screaming with that fifth-year option. He's already said, look, man, I need y'all to revisit my contract. You know? But that'll cost upwards of $14 million, while Samuel's contract will more than $20 million in 2024. A Niners roster without Ayuk or Samuel would seem strange, though, wouldn't it? You see? It would take a lot to trade B.A. or release Samuel for that matter anyway. But this is a team that's caught us by surprise at least once a year. Brace yourself, fam. Take your Niners meds. I think most of us probably need medication. Pre-draft visits, the best organizations draft for the future, unlike the Rams. We don't have to know picks here, babe. No. We're one of the best organizations, and we continue to be so. Why? Because we don't build just track homes. We build skyscrapers. LA, yeah, I'm talking about you. You suck. Anyway, Jordan Elliott highlighted the importance of following the Niners pre-draft visits earlier yesterday, Tuesday, in fact. NFL Network's Mike Garafolo reported that the Niners will meet with Michigan State wide receiver Jaden Reed this week. Reed, fam, by the way, is as high as a pick as number 66. And, of course, you know that's a second-round pick in some mock drafts, while he slides into the late fourth round in other mocks. So it's a little inconsistency there on opinions about him. Reed was far more productive as a junior, though, in 2021, where he averaged over 17 yards per reception. Caught 14 TDs and went over 1,000 yards receiving. He could be a reclamation project. If he had some problems last year, they may be fixable. It doesn't say anything about being hurt. There's the difference between, man, don't bring no more injured players. I'm not saying bring any injured players in there. I'm saying guys who may have fell off a little bit, you go ahead and bring them in because you can see they have the talent. He ran a 4.45 40-yard dash, but his best trait as a receiver is his hands. And I'll tell you, 50-50 balls and things like that, I want us to improve on that. Reed does a monster job of making catches he has absolutely no business making. These are the guys I'm talking about. The George Kittles that also wide receivers. And if the Niners are truly drafted for the future, Reed's biggest attraction is that he may be a returner at the next level. The player average, this is a typo, 21 yards per punt return as a junior, including 2 TDs. But remember, Dante Pettis. Remember, Dante Pettis he had set a record for one of the best return men in college ball history. Got to be careful about these kind of things. Did he go to Michigan? No, that's... Okay, we'll see. Reed's not a burner, though. He's pretty fast, though, but he has great hands and is good enough off the line of scrimmage to be an effective WR3. See, everybody's taking shots at that. If you're not Debo or Ayuk, your job is going to have to get the bust butt this year. They're bringing in people to compete with you. Either keep up or get kept out. According to Aaron Wilson, the Niners also met with Central Michigan tight end Joel Wilson, who led the Chippewas in touchdown receptions with 6 yards receiving per game. Wilson was not invited to the NFL Combine, but is listed as 6'4", 250. That's the size I'm talking about. Wilson did not run a 40-yard dash. This is what I want to know about, though. Can he run? And his pro day due to what is believed to have been due to an ankle injury. Finally, former Oklahoma tight end Braden Willis, who has been in conversations for weeks. Willis was also in for a visit yesterday, Tuesday, for his pre-draft visit with the Niners. Niners roster returns over at a high rate, so planning for the future, whether it's for wide receiver 3 or a potential Kyle Juszczyk replacement, is why we're seeing the team meet with so many pass catchers. But then I know what you said. Well, how come why aren't we finally meeting some offensive linemen? You can't really test an offensive lineman. You just look at his tape. You bring him in and to do what? Yeah. So, fam, anything you want to touch upon tonight that's grabbed your attention in 49er media news, please bring it to the table. Let's discuss it. As I said, I ain't bothering that trade situation. Y'all can talk about that all you want to. I ain't got nothing to say, man, because, joining these camps, which quarterback you like? Man, I ain't saying I'm claiming the fifth. Who you playing? Man, just anything to start a fight, right? And bring it in, chill. Phil, come on in.
So I got to start the fight first, huh?
Yes, indeed, Phil, because you set the precedent here that we like.
Well, anyway, Ronbo, first of all, Ayuk ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And Jennings has got this year and next year for sure. Because after this year, he was a restricted free agent, totally exclusive. Next year, he becomes a restricted free agent. We just put a third-round tender on him, and he's going to be ours. And Ayuk, we got the 5th-year option. He's going to be there for 2 years.
Whether he likes it or not.
And whether he likes it or not. And Debo's going to be there for 3 years. So whether he likes it or not. I mean, they signed the contracts. And so, that's the way it is. And, the Niners may renegotiate some contracts, whatever, with Ayuk, and that's what we do in this business. So, but Jennings is going to be here for 2 more years. He's not 1 more year. He's 2 more years. So he was an unrestricted free agent, and that's what you have to do for an unrestricted free agent. So
they either sign or they just don't play.
And as far as Trey goes, I want to ask the question, where would you put Trey Lance in this year's quarterback class?
This year's quarterback class. Oh,
hey,
Phil, good question. And chat, that's for you too. If Trey was coming out this year,
and here's
where would you base it?
Trey Lance is 22 years old. He is younger than half of this quarterback class. And the 2 guys are C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young that are younger. They're 21. And Trey Lance has sat 2 years in an NFL locker room. That's got to pay for something. You know what? If I was, I hear all this stuff from Grant Cohn and Kruger, they're a bunch of idiots. I'm sorry. They are. Because to go for a 4th round or a 3rd round, I'm sorry. He's worth a lot more than that.
That's a waste.
He's, if I'm talking to Houston, I'm saying if that 12th pick in the draft isn't part of the discussion, I'm hanging up.
Right.
And if I'm talking to Tennessee, if that 11th pick isn't part of the discussion, I'm hanging up. Because Trey Lance would go in the top 10 picks of this year's draft if he was coming out.
Phil, you mentioned something I want to touch upon real quick. Here's the thing. One proposal has the Texans being involved in a 3-way trade that would send Kirk Cousins to Texas.
No.
And I don't know where they put Trey.
First of all, Kirk Cousins has a huge cap hit.
No,
even though
Cousins would end up in Texas, not San Francisco. It's a 3-way deal. I'm not sure our conversation. It might be a draft pick.
Take that on.
No,
old man, they're not going to do. They're rebuilding,
right? So there's a lot of ludicrous scenarios being put out.
People need to think these things out before they start spouting them out.
That's asking too much there. These people don't think when they do these things.
Ain't going nowhere. And if the Vikings call, I want their 1st pick, I want their 2nd pick, and possibly a 5th pick for Trey Lance. So, he's worth a lot. People don't understand. He's 22 years old.
Phil,
he's still a baby.
And from what you're saying, Phil, people are thinking that since they think Brock Purdy, they don't even know Brock Purdy's going to be healthy or not yet for the season, but they're thinking of Brock Purdy and they got Darnold, but they're thinking Brock Purdy and Darnold are going to be the guys. So the 49ers should allow us to have Trey at bargain prices. That's what they're thinking. That's why that phone, if it's ringing, that's why it's ringing. They're thinking they can get him. But from what you're saying, you can play hardball. No, and we need 4 quarterbacks.
They're smarter
not 3.
than that. They know what the value of Trey is. And you know what? What if Brock doesn't pan out with his elbow?
Yep.
I'd rather have a Trey Lance, which is high ceiling, than Sam Darnold, which has proven that he's, what he's capable of. But I think the ceiling for Trey is much higher. And if you're going to trade Trey Lance, I want draft choices this year and 1st-round picks. Top 15, or else you don't even talk to me. So, because next year, if he gets some playing time, he's going to be more valuable.
If you insist on trading him, that's a good point. Why risk? Yeah.
And if we trade him this year, we've got to take a $2 million above what his salary is, dead cap hit. So it becomes like $11 million or something like that. Dead cap.
Is there? If you make a deal with another team, that's part of the deal, though, isn't it? That they cover those expenses.
No, because if you trade them, it's guaranteed money, and it was a signing bonus. See, the Niners have to take the hit.
They just have to.
So that's why you want more value from the other team, because they're not taking that hit.
Yeah, that's a good point. So as I said, another rabbit hole. The media is leading us down, and it has. No.
It's just a bunch of nothing.
Yeah, that's a rumor that has no legs. They're going to keep them coming, though.
And as far as the wide receiver goes, I think it's like a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick. We've got priorities with those 3rd-round picks. And, I think it's tight end, possibly safety, offensive tackle, and defensive end. And those 3 picks are going to go towards one of those 4 categories. Wide receiver is down the line. Because we've got, we've got a lot of wide receivers in the room.
Yeah.
And we're not in a desperate need.
And that's why you look at after Pettis. After Debo and Ayuk, you see if you can get better. And I guess that's due diligence, is what as the term goes.
Well, Jennings is pretty damn good.
I think so. 3rd and Juwan.
And then
Yeah.
Ray's pretty good. So, and Danny Gray hasn't, we've yet to touch with him, but
Yeah,
we'll see. He can improve.
Phil, the only thing is,
So,
this is the pattern.
We've
Remember,
got some
we've had
players
two
in
running
the
backs.
room.
We've had two running backs that got ignored in their rookie year, and one of them's already been traded. Now, this last year, we picked up another running back in the third round. If he doesn't get to play this year, look for him to be leaving soon as well. The 49ers, this is a pattern.
Talking about the guy from LSU. What's his name?
I get that guy from UCLA and his initials mixed up. But the 49ers, if you're not playing at all and they drafted you above the fourth round.
Yeah, but you know what? How many running backs do we pick up undrafted?
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why they use that third round pick 2 years in a row. I really don't. Because they're not beating anybody out.
Well, we'll see. I mean, this is his second year. Give him a shot. And who knows?
He's a big guy. I'd like to see him make it. We don't have enough big guys. And the ones we have, we don't use.
Well,
Jordan
we also
Mason.
could use a speed guy on the outside. But I think we can get that through free agency.
You had
the
undrafted
free agents.
Elijah Mitchell. But, yeah, you're right. I'd like to get another one of those. If Elijah could just stay healthy. Although you notice how Elijah's running between the tackles more than anything else?
I think more importantly, Ronbo, we need a tight end.
And that's priority one above everything else. I know the 49ers are definitely – a lot of articles indicate the 49ers are definitely working hard on that. They may move up into the second round to get him, too.
It's a real deep tight end class, and we definitely need to use one of those third-round picks on a tight end. Not only is George getting older, but to go a two tight end set, we've never had that.
I know. The time it's been here, we almost had a chance when Jordan, what's his name from Washington?
We tried, but it never worked out. They've never been healthy together.
Yeah, damn
so,
that would have been just
we have a two tight end set with our running game that the tight ends can catch the ball.
Yeah.
Look out. That's another, it's like McCaffrey adding another element to our offense.
McCaffrey, Debo, like peanut butter and jelly. I mean, that's one of the best tandems, and that's going to be one of the best, if not the best, tandem in the league as far as what they both can do. Damn, I can't wait to see them get back in action.
Yeah, I just think we're going to have them for a full year. So, we just got to keep our quarterbacks healthy. That's the key. Other than that, I think
we're okay.
We're unstoppable.
Well, Phil, I'll see you Friday. Yeah, let's see what develops.
And then
in the ongoing
the other thing is the Hurts contract. It's going to kill Philadelphia over time.
It's killing Lamar right now. Lamar!
Well, I'm just saying, when you got to pay $51 million on a $120 million total cap.
Yes, with 53 guys.
That's a lot of money for one player.
But in 2 years, Phil, it won't be. It's really for that cap expands and everything else. It just sort of like goes down. You get that guy now, suffered the first year. You've already got some guys already signed. You see what you can do. But we're still going to beat them, though. But anyway.
Yeah, but it's a 1 year window for them. It's a 1 year window because now they lose Kelsey. They lose Fletcher Cox after this year. They're going to lose a lot of players, and then they can't re-sign players because Hurst is going to take up a majority of the contract. That's
why the 49ers do the business the way they do it, Phil. Phil, I'll see you Friday, and let's see what develops in 49ers Central. All right, Phil. Appreciate you, Phil. Good stuff.
Okay. Take care.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Phil. Okay. Can anybody, I see NorCal Refrigeration and HVAC. Trey is in Hawaii while OTAs is on? Is that true? No, it's not. Come on, Ray. He actually met with the guys the other day, all three quarterbacks in the same room. Is Levi asleep? Oh, that's right. Levi's not at work today. He's not moving around. And he passed out at the very beginning of the program. Levi, lullaby, and good night. Okay, let's Let's go to the next, but let Levi sleep in peace. Oh, here we go. Because I've been. Hey, Jalen, come on in here and put the NFC West comedians in their place, please. Yeah.
Cardinals, y'all irrelevant. Rams, y'all some bombs. Seahawks ain't won a ring in 10 years. I know that can't be fun. Ronbo, in the words of a great man that took out half of the universe, you cannot live with your own failure. What did that bring you? Back to me. Kyle.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Darth Vader.
No, that was Thanos, Ronbo.
Oh, Spanos! I forgot Spanos, yes. My other favorite bad dude. Go ahead,
Kyle. So now we got talked about Kirk Cousins again, huh, Ronbo? Cousins. Same Kirk Cousins that ain't do shit with Stephon Diggs, didn't do nothing with Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, and Justin Jefferson. He gonna come over here and be able to just get it done with us.
I know,
Ronbo,
right?
I'm pissed off, and I honestly don't feel like talking about this with Kyle Shanahan because it's the same stuff every year. It's some type of quarterback controversy every year, Ronbo. It's going into year 8.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, Ronbo.
Yep.
Every year. And it's like the fans don't wake up to realize it and see, like, damn, when are we going to be tired of talking about quarterbacks every offseason?
No time soon.
I mean, Ronbo, I'd be fine if we losing these big games every year. But we talking about a new position every offseason. Hey. Every offseason is quarterback. Oh my, it's Ronbo. It's getting annoying. It's getting old, and it's almost getting untalkable. I'm not gonna lie. Because now we talking about we trying to trade Trey Lance. I mean, Ronbo, Kyle? Why did you draft the kid? You knew that you couldn't coach him up. You knew he wasn't ready. You had the 3rd pick in the draft. Who did you go for?
Yeah.
A kid with 16 starts in the last, what? How many games has he played in the last 4 years? Not even 20?
You can count to him quick.
I mean, Kyle, why? Why'd you take Solomon Thomas? Why? I mean, what's going on, Ronbo? I mean, why? It's annoying. It's really annoying. It's annoying. I'm getting tired of it. Like I said last call when I talked to you, Ronbo, I don't give a damn if CJ Beathard's left toe is out there. Kyle got to get a Super Bowl ring next year, Ronbo. I mean, fans, what are we expecting? Are we expecting to miss the playoffs? If we miss the playoffs, Kyle's got to go. If we lose one in the first round, Kyle's got to go. He's got to win a ring. I mean, what else is there to say? He has to win a ring at this point. There is no more going down. I mean, we can't go down. We go down, we might as well rebuild. So I mean, like, he needs to win a ring.
Well, the quarterback situation, I'm growing numb to that, and I every bit as much expect next year will be the same situation. The 49ers have yet to settle their quarterback situation, as and it'll be somebody be laying up in the hospital. Another guy will be something else, and there'll be several different things going on. But we're always going to have this, Jalen. I've decided to get used to it. It's stressful.
Man, Ronbo, I'm not going to keep trying to put this man on no hot seat. All I'm saying is next year, no matter what I say, next year we're going to come back in here talking about the same stuff. We're going to have the same people in the comments talking about Kyle Shanahan needs another year. Players were hurt. Yeah. He needs to find his quarterback. The offense started clicking. Somebody got hurt. A right tackle missed the block. It's gonna be the same stuff, Ronbo. I mean, we all see it coming. It's like cliche nowadays. It's like seeing movies. It's like people are making movies nowadays. It's everybody just copying old stuff, Ronbo. We know what's coming. somebody court. I mean, so I'm done talking about it, Ronbo. Like I said, rings or he's got to go in year 8. He can't go into year 9, and he hasn't won a ring yet, Ronbo. And we're still talking about quarterback.
And Jay, let me run this by you because remember you mentioned something about the UCLA quarterback the other day, Darren, and it seems the 49ers are seriously pursuing him, and now he's going to come in with all those INTs, and he's going to look good otherwise, and that's going to be another topic of conversation next year.
Ronbo, if we tank, Ronbo, see, here's the thing. That's the type of guy Kyle is. Kyle wants to go for these huge unknown projects so he can get credibility for it. Ronbo, I'm telling you, Ronbo, Ronbo, look, think about it right now, Ronbo. I understand the draft is coming up, but you ain't heard a word about the quarterbacks coming out of the draft next year. You heard anything about these guys, Ronbo?
No, one word.
Anybody coming out next year? Not a word. I guarantee you, next year. Oh my God, this guy Mahomes. Oh my, he's Mahomes 2.0. Justin Herbert 2.0. Look at him. Oh my, he's throwing balls 60 yards down. Ronbo, we don't even know who they are. We don't even know who they are right now.
Yeah. They'll be identified though just in time to make it a big promo.
Just in time for the draft.
Yeah.
Just in time for the draft.
Quarterback ain't worth a dime, but he is a badass now, boy. He's getting ready to get a draft. He's actually projected to go as number 1. You know, now you're gonna pick the team that's just sucking and needs a quarterback. The Panthers are gonna pick up Bryce. Oh, come on, guys! Last week you had to pick up somebody else. What do you think? We're stupid? I was like, it's just.
Yeah. So, Ronbo, if Kyle doesn't get it done this year, either A, he needs to be fired, or B, that contract needs to go out and he's not going to get extended. I don't know when this contract is out, but that man does not – if he can't get it done, Ronbo, going into year 9, that sounds really crazy saying. Like, that really does. Going into year 9.
Jalen, you got to tone that a little bit because the fact of the matter is, there's quarterbacks that went double that amount of time and haven't gotten anything done. You know,
I understand, but in one organization, though, Ronbo.
Well, I see what you're saying. You don't stay at a house. Well,
yeah, I understand if you bounce around, that's different. You bounce around and you can't build a culture, but you built a culture for 9 years and you can't get it done. Some ain't working after 9 years, Ronbo.
Well, see, Jay, also the bad thing is for if you want to see Shanahan move, he's got to fail in the regular season. Now he hasn't failed in the regular season now in a while. Jed loves him.
He hasn't. His defense hasn't. You damn right about that, Ronbo. His defense hasn't. I want to see 1 year what the defense, what Kyle Shanahan would look like if the defense wasn't on. When everybody wasn't afraid of the defense.
Well, as long as John
I'm not gonna lie, we forget that the defense carries Kyle Shanahan a lot of the time. A lot of the time.
As long as Shanahan, Lynch is there, the defense will never suck. He doesn't allow Kyle to just run everything. That's Lynch with the defense, most likely. Kyle does know defensive players, but not like Lynch does, because that's what Lynch does. He plays defense, right? So, yeah.
Ronbo, like I said, I'm not saying I'm saying he has to go if he don't get a ring. But I'm not complaining about nothing, not going to come up here and complain about Kyle not being a good coach and any of that stuff anymore. All I'm saying is, regardless of what goes on next year,
the goal is
he has to get the job. He has to get it done.
You got to meet it.
It can't be no more. What more excuses can we say after this, Ronbo? What more excuses can we have?
I can't imagine. But these weird things, Jalen, if somebody would have told you that your quarterback was going to get his arm broke in NFCCG, I would have said, man, come on, what are the odds of that? And lo and behold, they broke the man's arm. And I understand you've got circumstances surrounding it that Kyle may have had something to do with, but what the hell we got to do?
Well, we probably got
to. The year before, ball hit him all in the mouth and in the chest and in the face. All he had to do was make that catch. He swings momentum, and God knows how far he would have taken that ball down that field the way Kowalski runs. And the Rams are sitting at home still talking about, Well, we couldn't beat them again. That's like 4 years in a row we couldn't beat them, and along the playoffs. Rather than Rudy sitting around here pounding his damn chest, talking major crap. But see, this is what I mean.
Hold on. Man, first of all, damn, I'm mad. My time almost up. Ronbo, them Rams, just like the Seahawks. Gene D, it's been 10 years. I can finally say it's been a decade, brother. Y'all ain't won a ring in a decade. And I can tell you right now, in another 3, y'all ain't winning none in the next 3 years. You're not. Geno Smith ain't winning you a ring. You can add 3 to that 10. That's 13. And I'll give y'all maybe another 3 years before y'all make it past the wild card round. So we talking about 16 years it's been since y'all won a Super Bowl.
I love the math. I really do. Jalen, do your thing.
You hear that,
I'm gonna
Rudy?
give you the
That's going to be you soon. That's going to be you soon, Rudy. Because at the end of the day, we the kings of the West. Cardinals and College need a 2-year rest. And Gene D and Rudy a bunch of bums, and the 49ers will always be the best. Appreciate that Niner shout out, Ronbo. Appreciate you having me tonight. And don't forget that the Raiders lost to Nick Mullins on national TV.
You're always so much fun, Jalen. I'll be back Friday and give me another rhyme ready. Have a great night, fam. Boy, Rudy, man, you know you're working me out. I go to Twitter, man. The first thing I do is run into Rudy-isms. I get, man, it's a big show. It's a big show on tonight. Show.
What's up, Ronbo? I hope you enjoy me defending you against Rudy on Twitter.
I did really enjoy that. I tried to use good sense and be the adult in the room.
I swear, every time I log on, he's like harassing you.
There he is, right? I said, Rudy, man, the hell is? You go get? Don't you have a wife or something? I mean,
or a life?
God, I go back in your basement and smoke one of them fake cigars.
I like to, dude, but come on, man. Ease up a little.
God, he's coming up with all these weird things.
Let Ronbo be. Let him do his thing, like, come on. Anyways, that's not what I'm here to talk about tonight.
Go ahead.
As Casey would say.
I thought about Casey when you said that, too.
Shout out to Casey. Hopeless medicine's working. Yeah, so the pass catching situation. How much is it going to be to pick up Brandon Ayuk's 5th-year option? Because wasn't Michael Gunsy's like $15 million something?
Yeah, Brandon's north of 14. Yeah.
So where's that money going to come from? I'd like to know.
Well, somebody's going to get fired. You notice though, Show, the 49ers will cut people without hesitation this year, recently, the last 3 years or so. I'm still hurting about Laken Thompson. I'm okay now because Laken Thompson did all you could do to keep a job, but Aaron panned out. So what if he wouldn't have? Wow. So they're going to continue to do that. That's what. But
yeah, I'd like to know where that $14 million and on north is, where the money tree is. I mean, the reason why we're bringing in all these pass catchers and visiting them is because I have a feeling that they're going to be drafting Brandon Ayuk's eventual replacement after this year, because you're going to have
no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly why that the Trey Lance talks have heated up, because they have 2 situations on their hands right now. Are we going to pick up the 5th-year option of Brandon Ayuk, which is going to cost us $14 million and even maybe north of that, or are we going to pay Trey Lance $11 million, who's not the future of this franchise, unfortunately? You know what I mean? Like, you could choose to believe these rumors or not, but when Ian Rappaport comes out and say it, he doesn't say it and pull it out of his ass. He actually has these sources within the organization, and John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan may not say anything to him, but other teams will. He'll find that out, So, I tend to believe what is being said right now, because Ian Rappaport also believed that Mac Jones was going to be the pick in 2021, and Kyle Shanahan came out and flat out and said that he was torn between Mac and Trey, and he really liked Mac a lot, and Mac was obviously going to be his pick if he had a choice to choose him, Yeah. So these rumors have legs, whether you want to believe it or not. because they've already named Brock Purdy quarterback one in the future in Arizona at the owners meeting this year, and they signed Sam Darnold with a incentives to earn up to $11 million.
Almost
given
immediately, which is what
yeah.
resonated with me. I said, God, Jesus Christ, they went out and got him as soon as they could, didn't they? How come?
And you take what you can get from Trey Lance, because he honestly is worth, I believe, a late first-round pick from like 23 on back to number 50. The kid has barely played 4 games in this league and has been injured multiple times and has only had 469 passing yards since high school. That's not worth a high top 10 pick, in my opinion. If he was to be put in this quarterback class this year, he would be ranked at the bottom of the first round, like Lamar Jackson was when he was drafted. That's where I would think Trey would go this year.
If he was equally as potent as Lamar has been. Show also, those quarterbacks that are coming in this year to be drafted, they're still unknown. Trey has put enough out there to give people an idea, which gives
barely enough though.
To give the quarterbacks that are coming in new an advantage. So yeah, you're right. I'd say Trey would be in the below 10.
And the top 2 teams to look out for are Minnesota, obviously where he's from, Marshall, Minnesota. They love the kid over there in Vikings land. I've been seeing a couple of YouTube channels that are high on him, and I don't point them out as sources though, or information-wise goes to rely on. But when it comes to Ian Rappaport and guys like that, you take them seriously. Like these are no people who don't blow smoke out of their ass.
Those guys are concerned with their integrity. Minnesota has another quarterback they picked up a couple of years ago. What was his name?
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah,
Kellen Mond.
Mississippi
State, but he's garbage.
He is, okay.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing,
he's not the future of their franchise.
Yeah, quarterbacks in the draft, that's really a rough job to come in and succeed at this level.
Yeah. So I would not be surprised if we trade him before June 1. And they'll figure out a way to restructure a couple of contracts to avoid that $11 million cap hit. Because, you got to choose either between, either picking up Brandon Ayuk's fifth year option, which I do not. I'm 50-50 on right now of whether or not they're going to. Right. I think they'll let him walk in free agency next year. That's why they're bringing all these pass catchers in, because they need to start developing and molding his eventual replacement, because he's going to want north of $20 million, Ronbo, for a long-term extension contract.
But keep in mind, you're not necessarily going to get somebody that's going to beat BA out. So you got to be careful about that. And Debo is the older of the two.
They're not going to beat him out. They're not going to beat him out this year. I'm talking about developing him.
You mean when the time comes to renew Ayuk?
Developing him like they did Aaron Banks. You know what I mean? So
you got to be careful with that too, because Ayuk could have a crazy good year. Now, public demand, you guys get rid of Trey, you get rid of us as fans. Some people are very serious about that. I've already seen people on Twitter saying, as soon as Trey leaves, I'm done. Okay. So
but if you those are not real fans, honestly. They don't think about the business before they think about their feelings. So,
And the 49ers are good. They're famous for that. If they don't care what anybody says, they're going to do what they're going to do. So
yeah, they don't care what anybody says. We're actually the New England Patriots of the West. Like, we don't care where we draft you. We're not shy. That's what I respect about him, is we don't shy away from having to get rid of him. Like Trey Sermon, for example, he was picked high in the 3rd round, and we just got rid of him the following year. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care where you're drafted. If you don't pan out and don't work out here, then good luck. It's somewhere else. And if you succeed somewhere else, congratulations on you. They don't care. I mean, how rare is it that a quarterback drafted that high, only completing 50% of his passes and playing 4 games, goes around and turns around and runs the league? It's very rare. So people should not be worrying about that right
Zach
now.
Wilson.
No. So
Zach's still my favorite on the show. That is a complete mess.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hot mess.
Props to him.
Good God, and he shocked people. But yeah, these are the things that are going to happen. The 49ers, John and Kyle have become damn near vain show. You know, when they talk to each other and believe what they say to each other, let's go for it.
I mean, for God's sake, Kyle Shanahan told Jimmy Ward, if you don't want to play safety, then you're going to be your ass on the bench.
And then denied it later. John covered for him. Yeah, Kyle doesn't recollect having said that to Jimmy. John, don't cover up for him. Kyle's not saying anything. Yeah, he did. Jimmy can't make that up. I like Kyle because of his arrogance. I kind of find it amusing. I really wish, though, that he would go ahead and own up to some of the things he says and does. Don't do that, Kyle. It makes people mad. If you said it, just say, well, yeah, I meant it or something.
Last point before I go really quickly. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, they met with 3 times. They're very high on him and are pursuing him heavy, like you alluded to earlier.
Yeah, I knew.
Which tells me that they're really kicking the tires, or they're really looking into considering trading Trey Lance in the draft this year, if they're going to be thinking about drafting a quarterback, which I think they're going to.
If Robinson's
and keep in mind, we only can keep 2 quarterbacks on the roster this year.
No, but you can keep practice squad people, and DT will definitely be on the practice squad, and that's why the 49ers defense got as good as it was. Brock just really stressed them during workouts every day because of the fact he was doing the things he does. Dorian running around like he does. You seen that run he made all the way down the field from goal, from the line of scrimmage all the way to goal. I mean, going down, dropping to the ground like good hand and balances. Look at that. Jesus.
If we use one of the 3rd-round picks on Dorian Thompson-Robinson or Tanner McKee, then they'll definitely not be on the practice squad. You know?
They'll get cherry-picked, huh? Yeah. I don't know.
Yep.
But I've heard that. What you just mentioned, I read that. The 49ers, why do they keep messing with Dorian?
Yeah. That's why they're fielding calls on Trey. I mean, they need to draft a backup. So that's why.
The 49ers look for the 49ers possibly to carry 4. And maybe not. You know, you'll activate or you put on the roster 2.
There's a rule against that. You
can't have 4.
I don't think you can carry
there
4
is a policy then. Okay. Well, yeah. So you might. I don't know. You may be right then. Somebody may have to go.
That's why there was such a controversy in the league owners meeting this year because of what happened in an SEC game. Like we were down to 2. We had no quarterbacks. We were going to rely on Christian McCaffrey and Ronbo.
No, I saw that.
They only carried 2 quarterbacks that game. That's the policy right there. You only carry 2 quarterbacks and activate 2 quarterbacks on game day. You know, so that's why they're heavily after Dorian Thompson-Robinson and fielding calls for Trey because they've already named Brock Purdy the future of the franchise. Both of them, John and Kyle. So, take it as you will. Well, you know.
And then they're gonna look at camp and see Trey versus Sam Darnold, and
if he's not traded.
Well,
I mean, you have to. This is serious news right here. Like, yeah, you can't. There's no denying this, Ronbo.
You know what? Let this develop.
Sugarcoat it.
Let's revisit this situation Friday. I'm trying to like because that's how the media does. They say something today and tomorrow. Ed Rappaport reports that there is no confirmation on his thinking that the 49ers were fielding calls. They say, you guys have done that how many times? They do it all the time. So let's see. Because one thing about Rappaport, when he does say something that was wrong,
that happens.
We'll see. All right, Joe. Good stuff as per usual.
Shout out to everyone.
Back
all right,
at
take
you,
care.
Fam. See you Friday. Jalen and Show, one thing they have in common, they're absolutely right. I'm so tired of the 49ers. Everybody else has their quarterback, and they've had him for years. Many teams have quarterbacks they've had for years. But us, we never had the same quarterback 2 years in a row. If we do, he's leaving that second year. Hey, Kevin, or he's hurt or something. Hey, Kevin.
What's up? What's up, Ronbo?
Kevin, man, we're just sitting back here and discussing the 49ers doing their mysterious thing like they always do in Santa Clara, leading people to believe any number of things. And, Kevin, what do you think is going on? How you doing, by the way?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
I don't know if it could be any better. I'm a spring and summertime guy, so,
Yeah. Well, Ronbo, hey, there's more than one way to win a Super Bowl, and I think 95% of the league thinks that you need to find your quarterback and put a good team around a great quarterback, and that's the route that they take. But the other way to do it is to build a great team and get a serviceable or a good quarterback.
Yep.
And we watched Green Bay with one of the best quarterbacks of my lifetime.
He's
in
historically
Aaron
he's
Rodgers.
ranked as top 5. Yeah.
Yeah, top 5. He's got one ring, and I think there's one. Is there anybody other than Mahomes, a starting quarterback in the NFL right now with more than one ring?
I can't think of any other than Tom.
I think it's just in currently in the NFL, I think Mahomes is the only guy with more than one ring, and who else has one ring is Nick Foles, Joe Flacco. One ring because you don't absolutely need a great quarterback to win a ring. You can do it with a good quarterback and a great team. And I think the Niners chose to go that route. A few years ago, they had a decision to make, and that was either to keep Jimmy and keep paying him the money that he was making, or to keep all of their Pro Bowlers intact and try to get a rookie that could be serviceable. And I think that they made the right decision, and they tried to get a rookie. And they were in an interesting spot that I don't think that they thought they would ever be in, because in 2020, they were the most injured football team in NFL history. And so they had the 13th pick or whatever it was that year because they lost all those games. And they thought, hey, we're here. Next year, we're going to be great. Let's trade up. Let's try to shoot for a rookie, because we're not going to be able to have this opportunity again to get a top pick in a long time. And they took a shot. And the problem is, though, they got it wrong. And I don't know how many signs people need to see that the Niners are got it wrong, and they're trying to tell you without actually telling you that they got it wrong. And if Trey Lance was anything close to even Jimmy Garoppolo, they had, he would have been put in when they were 2-5 his first year. They would have kept him in when Jimmy had one arm late in the year
off his body.
Hanging off his body. He would have taken over at some point. People would have seen in practice that, wow, this kid is special, and as soon as he takes over, we're going to be crazy. You've heard none of that. You've heard the opposite. It's all doubt and whatever. They finally, quote unquote, give him the keys when they thought that they thought that Jimmy was gone, because again, it came down to the fact that they couldn't afford him. And as soon as Jimmy agreed to take less money, there's Jimmy back again. And so it was strictly about the money. It wasn't about Trey being better than Jimmy or this and that, but they couldn't go back to Jimmy once he came back, because then Shanahan's word means nothing after he said he's handing it over to Trey.
Good
so
point. People are already looking at him sideways now.
Yeah, exactly. And so he was stuck basically having given the keys to Trey. But if he truly believed in Trey, there's no way you bring back Jimmy. No one ever brings back the quarterback in that scenario unless you don't trust.
And Kevin, especially, don't forget, leave out the part where you weren't even considered. He's on an opposite field where we can't see him. He can't bother us. He's just over there working out to keep himself loose so we can see if we can trade him. He's not any. He hasn't got any off-season training. Oh.
Right. No, you don't do that. If you trust and believe in Trey Lance, there's no way you do that. And so there's another sign that they don't believe in him. And so, but they have to give him his shot, because not only fan pressure at that point and what they spent to get him, but they also committed to him and gave him the keys and all that. But then he gets injured, and now, as you just pointed out, on the first day, the first minute of the offseason, they pick up Sam Darnold, who, is, I think Shanahan looks at him and says, hey, this guy is basically, I mean, he's he's very similar to Jimmy in a lot of ways. He's got a pretty quick release. He's accurate over the middle. He might make some dumb decisions every once in a while, but he's a better runner. He's probably got a stronger arm, and I could probably win with this guy. And he's got experience at this point, and he was a number 3 pick himself, so he's talented. And so
6'3".
let's get him. Yeah, 6'3". He's. I think I can win with this guy, and I think not only should they trade Trey Lance, I think, or not only, I think 100% they should trade him. I don't even think it's a question because, people say, oh, well, it's the salary cap and this sort of thing. If you don't trade Trey Lance right now and get what you can for him, the moment the draft's over and teams fill whatever needs that they have at the quarterback position, they're never going to get whatever they could get for him pre-draft. And the cap hit that everyone's making a big deal about will be about $11 million. He's set to make about $9.5 million this year. And so you're going to pay him either way. If he's sitting on your bench, you're paying him $9.5 million, or you could trade him. He's not going to be on the field regardless, but you might get a second round pick, a second and a fourth, or whatever they'll get for him.
Where your
At least they're
values
getting
in that
something
case,
back.
exactly.
Yeah. And so, you might as well get something for him. And if you're going to trade him, now's the time, because if Sam Darnold beats him out, you're not getting anything for him next year. And they've told you that they don't think they can win a Super Bowl with him. They've told you that over the last 3 years by all of their actions. They don't think they can win a Super Bowl with him. And so, if you got to trade him now, because if he doesn't play this year, there's no way in hell they're picking up his 5th-year option. Next year he's going to be worth nothing. And so, it's time to I think they want to trade him. What they're concerned about, though, is how do they sell it to the fan base, and they're praying that they get a high second or something where they can at least sell it and sell the story. Hey, he's got to play. We love him. He's great, and that sort of thing.
The term fresh start has been used. The 49ers are very sneaky with what they do. And for those of us who have been watching Lynch and Shanahan work closely, the fact that rumor, as it's got put out there, 49ers are fielding calls, that was no accident. Somebody got a hold of Ian and says,
right.
The 49ers have fielded a number of calls asking about Trey Lance. The 49ers, if you didn't want us to know that, it wouldn't have been known. The 49ers have done so many things.
Right.
I mean, who knew about Hargrave? All of a sudden we looked up, whoa! When the 49ers do things, it's a whoa move. That's a real move. But these things about, like what we're seeing here now, they did that on purpose. And Sam Darnold, immediately, that means they were looking at him for a long time.
Right, and exactly, and it reminds me of the same thing when they were trying to trade Jimmy when he was injured. You heard all those rumors and everything. We're taking calls, and they got a first round offer from someone, and and all these stories start slipping out, and and I think that's them trying to drum up some interest. I just I just
a pattern.
If right, and but it's hard for me to believe that if they know, the truth about Trey, and they got enough coaches that have seen Trey, were with the team now that have seen Trey.
They may have come to a conclusion. We're going to see, though, Kevin. After the draft, if we get through the draft and Trey's still wearing a 49er uniform, then the whole narrative will have shifted. I don't know what we're going to be able to come up with thoughts, but we're going to see. All right.
Yeah.
Kevin, good to hear from you.
All right, Ronbo.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
It's our pleasure. Well, I'll be back Friday if you got time. All right. Night, Kevin.
All right. Night.
Yeah. See, all those things have been rolling through my head. That's Levi. Levi shifted gears. You check that out? Before it was a very nice...
hey, what's up?
Oh, Levi, who is that?
That's me, Levi. Oh,
there was a sound. Levi, there was somebody sleeping last time we called. Was that you?
Yeah, well, that's fell asleep while waiting.
Levi, there's some noise accompanying you on this feed. Do you hear anything around? Are you around a speaker or TV or anything? Oh, it's a feedback. Hey,
All right.
you
That
guys
should be
should,
better.
yeah, mute your speaker out. Yeah, okay. Levi. Well, you already. We've been looking at the 49ers, and their activity seems to be pushing toward them looking for a receiver. Probably not to replace Ayuk or Debo, of course, but the other receivers, and Juwan Jennings, I don't think is in real jeopardy either. But they could be looking for somebody, special teams, somebody to add depth to the roster, or somebody who can beat somebody out. Actually, the 49ers look for players. They're always looking for somebody who can beat somebody out. That's just the way it goes. When you bring people in, they're in here to see if they can win a job, and that means your job is one you always have to try to work to keep if you're in a camp every year. See, so that what we're talking about. The 49ers going to get a wide receiver more than one or two, tight end. Of course, you got to get that because it's the best year for tight ends that's been for a while. And also, you probably heard about the Trey Lance. I says, I ain't got nothing to say to that, but if anybody wants to get into that early, I was going to wait till Friday to see where the Ian Rappaport report goes. But if you want to talk about it now, it's okay. But Levi, all of that stuff and anything else you want to touch upon, go right ahead.
All right. Okay. So we got there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, I mean, Chris Conley, I ain't never heard of him until now.
Yeah, I didn't either, actually. He's been around.
And all we know is he's run fast and he's some production, but he ain't established himself enough for a team to want to hold on to him.
Yes. 4 teams? Like Chiefs, Titans, Texans. Where's he coming from? Anyway, yeah, I worry about guys that have been to a bunch of teams.
Yeah. And then he's going to be a receiver on our team where we want good receivers, but we don't really maximize their usage. We just try to get it to them shortly and then thing. So it's kind of hard to know if it'll be worth anything or it'll just be another receiver that we'll occasionally see throughout the next season.
Yeah.
It's not something that's going to really get the average fan. I feel like it's a meh move. Like, oh, okay, fast receiver. Hopefully that'll mean something.
Mm-hmm. And I get excited about receivers every year. I've been wanting one that could run fast. This dude can run fast. He's 6'3", Levi. 6'3" and can run fast.
Okay.
And he's not bad as a deep threat.
Okay,
so he's got what you need.
So this would make you happy then, right?
Oh, hell yeah. But the thing is, I want to know why he can't find a job. See, that gives me cause to pause. I'm not getting crazy about him. I just said, he's got what it takes.
Yeah, you gonna look up old tapes on him to see how he plays?
I did.
Or something?
I saw one.
Be excited or not?
He beat out the defense on one pass from that Texan quarterback that his arm wasn't strong enough. If he'd have caught it in stride, he'd have been so far out in front of that defense, it would have been ridiculous. He had to come back for the ball. And they got him. But, man, that dude could jam. Oh, Jesus. And a big target at 6'3". And, but I don't know why the 49ers picked him up. You never understand what the 49ers are doing and why they do what they did. They got Ray and they got mad at him last year. Him and Kyle had a problem, from what I understand. Of course, that's not unusual. Kyle has problems with certain players every year.
Yeah, well, like they say, we always try to make the team better. So, bringing people in, seeing how it's going to shake up. Thought you should be happy. You say y'all were looking for someone fast to catch the ball. Maybe this guy be the one that's fast and catch the ball. Probably disappointed. Like, hey, I thought this was supposed to be Danny Gray.
See, that's Levi. Have you thought about, though, what is really wrong with Danny Gray that could possibly keep him up? The first he had a calf injury or something was wrong with he used the injury. But I said, okay, this is after this many weeks, guys. That's a face-saving move for Danny. There's nothing wrong with him at this point. That boy is, 21, 22? He ain't going to take 5 to 6 weeks to heal up from no ankle or calf. What are they doing? And what is the problem? Then they put him in for that one play. He ran an end around. Had nothing to do with going deep. I mean, I know what it is. He ain't blocking. And you know how Kyle is about blocking. You can't block, you can't play. Coach just let me go deep. Not, what, did you hear me? Oh, yeah, okay, fine. Because Ayuk had nothing but good things to say about him at the beginning of the season. Remember that?
Well, Ronbo, like you said, man, Kyle got his little thing, and I don't know if it's that. Maybe it's something else. Maybe he ain't learned the playbook. Maybe Danny Gray's still struggling with learning his playbook.
We always fall back on that, and that could be true this time too. I don't know. It might be. Because the boy could
maybe
run.
Okay, but we all know football is more than just about running. You have to be able to run. You have to be able to catch the ball consistently when the ball's thrown to you.
You got to be able to track.
You have to be able to run your route. Yeah. And with Kyle Shanahan, he's going to want you to be a willing blocker when we doing a run play, because most of our plays are supposed to be run tight play.
Yeah, we'll see, because Danny Gray better show out in camp. This is the only place this is his only platform to actually show off, because he ain't gonna make Debo and Brandon sit down. He's Juwan either, so he's already 3 people down, and Ray probably might beat him out too. Because that time I seen Ray going downfield deep for a pass and not Danny, that told me something right away. I said, you know what, that doesn't look good, guys. Danny can run faster than Ray, and Ray's running a deep route. How come?
And who knows? Maybe this is also an extra move, maybe low key, to try to push Danny Gray. Okay, you're gonna get a player that with your same skill set with a little more experience in the league. Let's see what you do. Are you gonna get motivated? Are you gonna show something a little more?
Well, he failed that test then, because he didn't get any chance to get out there. But I think Danny Gray was on the field twice all year.
Well, I mean, this is for the upcoming season. Last season's behind us now, Ronbo. So it's a new season, and they looking forward to. This is a new year to try to make something happen.
Yeah.
And so, you making moves. This is becoming something in an option. And like I said, maybe this is a move to say, hey, we'll see if this can help motivate Danny Gray to, try to take another leap. To say, nah, I'm not going to let this guy just take whatever spot that I was hoping to be me. The speed catch ball guy, long. This guy already got experience being that guy.
Yeah. So
maybe that is. Maybe that deep ball open up and you'll get that excitement that you've been looking for.
So, yeah.
And the only problem is, I don't know who we got that's going to be.
The thing is, you make that defense, keep them honest. I hated when the defense crowded the middle of the field. I said, how come they ain't got no more respect for the 49ers than that? Well, that's why Marquise Goodwin that year, and that's why George Kittle did what he did. Because Goodwin, you better go with Marquise. He may not catch all of them, but he will catch a percentage of them. So, we'll see. Anyway. Well, Levi, I'll let you get some rest on your day off. I don't blame you for chilling out and passing out. We was going to come back and make sure, though. I'll be back Friday looking for you.
All right, Ronbo. You have a good one.
You too, fam. Night, Levi.
Bye-bye.
And let's go out toward Reno, Nevada, where Casey has just laid down another bed. Hey, Casey!
What's shaking, Ronbo?
Casey, man, we're looking at the 49ers, and you know how they do their laying clues and whispering into the immediate mind. Can you tell what the 49ers are doing today? The 49ers are said to be looking for wide receivers in the draft. And also, the rumor that the 49ers are fielding calls for Trey Lance. True or false? This is the thing with the 49ers. Every year we got to go through this with the whispers. Niners, I wonder if other teams are doing that. I got to ask other. Oh, I know. We'll ask Tony. But right now, Casey, what do you think the 49ers are doing? Are we going to get a receiver or 2 or 3? We already got Conley, of which whom I'd love to hear your opinion about that.
I have no idea what the 49ers are going to do, Ronbo.
I know, really. I really don't.
It seems like yesterday the media was writing off Brock Purdy. Today they're writing off Trey Lance. So I think that means that tomorrow, by my calculations, I think Sam Darnold is going to be the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers tomorrow.
Jed York loves him. Frank Gore loves Sam Darnold. I put that out there, right? I just heard that. I knew about Frank, but I know Jed was in on it too.
Did Sam really play with Frank?
No, that's why, I don't know why Frank. Wait, The Jets.
I think they might have played.
Oh, they did
might have
play
played on
together
the
for a
same
minute.
team.
Frank was with the Jets. Sam was there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how come.
Yeah, he might.
Why is Frank talking about Sam?
Yeah. I swear, if I see a report tomorrow about Sam Darnold, Ian Rappaport has reported that the 49ers are, something about anyway.
See, when he speaks, it does leave a mark. Because a lot of guys say something and you say, "Who is this? Who is this guy?" But when Rappaport says something, well, you got to contemplate it for a minute.
Yeah, I have no idea what. I mean, what did he get paid though? How big of a contract did Sam Darnold get?
I think it's basis
at least $1 million?
2 to 4. Yeah, I think it's 4, and with incentives, it could take him up to 11. And
interesting.
yeah, he wouldn't have signed.
Maybe
if
they
he didn't
will
thought
trade Trey then.
Yeah, he wouldn't have signed if he didn't think he had no shot.
Who knows, man?
Yeah,
I mean, because what they gave Stidham at least $250,000 last year.
no, they gave him 2. They gave him $2 million. They didn't put any incentive package with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that means they were paying Stidham last year. That's crazy.
No, they cut him. Remember? I don't think any of it was guaranteed. Maybe it was. They cut him. Yeah. And that's when Brock Purdy. Enter Brock Purdy. Yeah. Purdy beat him out.
Yeah.
Of which we didn't know anything about Purdy at that time either, other than he was the last guy in the draft. But
yeah.
it's
almost like the way the Niners contracts work out is kind of facilitated for Brock Purdy to be in that spot because the NFL, accountants and whatnot, they're always trying to get most bang for their buck. They definitely got that with Brock last year. I mean,
God,
Jesus,
yes.
Didn't even,
But Casey, do you think?
I mean, can you imagine if they had won the Super Bowl last year? The Niners just would have been like, what do we do now?
Every magazine, I mean, not even involved with football. He would have made worldwide headlines if he would even got to the Super Bowl.
Pretty crazy.
Last guy in the draft. Quarterbacks his team to the Super Bowl. And don't let him win. Brock Purdy, we wouldn't be able to find him now. He'd be on TV. He'd be in the next Marvel episode. Damn.
No, he totally could have done it too. And I really don't like some of this noodle arm talk I've heard about Brock. Just saying Brock doesn't have strong enough arm. I haven't seen any of that, man. I haven't seen any flaws in Purdy's game yet.
No, he could play.
And
anybody would have got their arm.
Pulled back. Really haven't seen any flaws in Trey's game either, except for the fact that Shanahan wants him to run for a dozen times a game.
Well, you should let. Okay, what I don't understand is why Kyle won't let him throw the ball. I know everybody thinks that Kyle's calling that play because he just doesn't want to let him throw. I want to know why he didn't tell Brock to throw the ball.
And who's the receiver that they let go to Miami last year that Trey had a good chemistry with in preseason too?
Oh yeah. I know that starts with an S, I think. What is the name of that quarterback that went to? You know what? He left Miami already too. So he came over from the Cardinals, came to us, went to Miami. He's always that last man they consider. The quarterback that Trey had a good chemistry with.
No. I was talking the wide receiver that he had
I'm sorry. The receiver that Trey had.
He had that one deep pass too. Yeah.
The receiver that.
I forget his name. He did pretty good in Miami though, if I remember right.
Yeah, he did okay, and they still got rid of him. He's not there now.
Yeah.
Sherfield. Thanks, GB. Yeah.
Yeah,
Trent Sherfield.
Trent Sherfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So but see, you need to have the first. He hurt his hand apparently. Remember, he was throwing the ball so hard that it was uncatchable. In the
no, I don't remember that. I remember Kaepernick doing that.
No, it was only preseason. I think he had hurt his finger. Remember, he was throwing the ball, had no spin. It was flying out of his hand like a shot put. I think his finger was hurt or something was hurt. So he's just throwing the ball hard. Yeah. But he's got a tremendous arm. That ball was bouncing off the receivers, and I thought he almost killed what's his name that one time. If he would have got 1 inch lower, it would have hit him in the face. What's the guy that went to the Jets? the receiver. Anyway, man, oh, that ball was flying.
Yeah.
So he adjusted that.
Ronbo,
He got better with that later, though.
I've seen enough of Trey to know that I think it's just about opportunities. Just about, I mean,
Experience.
with Purdy, Purdy, just take it one game at a time.
Yeah.
Purdy was lucky enough to stay healthy for 8 games. I mean, Ronbo, you put me out there in the NFL, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it 8 plays. This guy, Brock Purdy, made it for, 10 or 12 games healthy, before he got majorly hurt. You probably throw me out there and I'm, Lord knows what's going to happen, Ronbo. But
In case you remember, though, he played 5 years of college football. That's a lot of polish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Trey didn't get a chance to do all that. So Trey is still having to deal with an upward battle. He's not had any experience yet going into the third year. The 49ers are growing impatient with that element, not necessarily Trey, but they're trying to figure out how do we get him up to speed to run with this unit.
Yeah.
And
But Ronbo, I mean, they definitely asked for that. They put themselves in that spot. So
if you're going to draft a guy number 3, you probably should use him.
Yeah, if we're going to trade up to number 3 for a guy that hasn't played in a year. I mean, just on paper, that doesn't sound very good. It sounds like they didn't, like they were scrambling.
They got
I mean,
they got Jed involved and everybody. Remember, Jed? Can we get this guy? Jimmy's going to start for us this year. We're going to get him up to speed, get him all ready. Jed, we're going to save you lots of money in the future, but we need to get this kid because we think we got something here and we can make him a winner. And of course, we have the situation we have now.
It's all a business, Ronbo. Brian Hoyer still has a job. I don't know what's going on in the NFL. My boy Kaepernick doesn't have a job, but somehow Brian Hoyer.
Don't get me started on that Kaepernick situation.
I know.
Casey, we're gonna go though. I'll tell you what. I'll be back Friday, and hopefully you can get in here. I'll be looking for you.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel the same anymore, Ronbo. There was such a good time in my life where it was like the Niners were just winning week after week. Brunskill was just pancaking after pancake, and it was just easier times.
It was last year was good. Well, let's see if we do it again next year.
Yeah, no, I'm ready, Ronbo. It's been long enough. You're gonna have to kick me out tonight, Ronbo. I'm ready. We're here in April. We're talking about the Super Bowl, Ronbo. Put me in, coach, man. I'm ready to run through a brick wall right now, Ronbo. I want this Super Bowl, man. It's a quest for 6, man. I'm not playing, Ronbo. You're going to have to kick me out tonight, man. It's quest for 6, man.
Casey's asking to be disconnected. Casey!
I need that hat, Ronbo. You gotta link me. I need a link in the chat to the hat.
Casey, I'll send you one. I can say good night now. Let's get Papa Dragon in here. The head of the Dragon clan. Here is Papa Bang Boom Dragon. Pop.
Ronbo, what's up?
What?
Oh my God, Ronbo.
Pop, you know what? I love the way you dissect and analyze what the 49ers are doing when there's always a method to the madness. Most of us can't figure it out. But there are so many times when you and the contrasting Big Show actually give us food for thought. Show just thinks they're all full of BS, whereas Pop gives you reasons why they're messing with us. But Pop, please, if you don't mind, get into it.
Hey, I said it. I don't know if it was this phone call, or the last phone call.
Yeah.
Next year, there's only one quarterback that in the world that Kyle Shanahan respects, and that is Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is available next year, Ronbo. That's number one. Number two, according to what I'm hearing from my quote-unquote sources, people who work in the industry, agents and whatnot,
yeah,
the wide receiver that may be on the move is Juwan Jennings.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if he winds up in Tennessee if he's back home. As far as the receiver thing goes, I don't think you try to read into the tea leaves and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a discussion today with quite a few people in the physical rehab area. We got to talking football, and the first word out of my personal trainer's mouth was, "I don't want Trey Lance because he's garbage." And I say, "How do you figure he's garbage?" Oh, he's like, "Well, If he wasn't garbage, he'd be playing. Really? So you determined in 3 games that he's garbage. And he thought about it. He goes, I don't know. Exactly. You don't know. Neither do I. I wish I did know. I hope he's not garbage. He might be garbage. I said, what do you think about Tannehill? Oh, he's absolute trash. What about Willis? Oh, he sucks. So
this is his assessment on anybody named QB.
Exactly. That's his QB talk, right? Now, again, he's a former football player, college player, 25 years old. So I'm like, well, what would you trade?
Oh, he's only 25, and he's got that kind of attitude. Yeah.
He's like, well, what would you trade for Trey Lance? Well, he does. That's just the world today. It's the world today, Ronbo. The world today is fast and it's quick. You see what I'm saying?
Judgments are made equally as quick. Yep.
Yeah, the world today, we don't go down to Best Buy to buy a record no more. You know, we pay our $6.99 and then we listen to whatever we want on Spotify.
Yep.
Instant gratification type of situation, right? So Trey didn't give anybody instant gratification, right? And that person he didn't give instant gratification to is our very young head coach who looks like he's 100. It's Kyle Shanahan.
I know, right? He's starting to wear him out.
Yeah, so again, Ian Rappaport is a national reporter for the NFL football. Whenever there's big leaks coming out, whenever he's tweeting about San Francisco, because somebody in San Francisco world told him to say that. And that is to draw up interest. Because again, you always have casual conversation about your players. That's what they do. That is the reality of it. Period. That is the reality of it. You just don't say, oh no, we're not even going to ask about Peyton Manning because he's Peyton Manning. You say, hey, so how you guys feel about Peyton Manning? You know, you guys interested in making a move? And those conversations happen all the time. So you're at a preliminary stage with Trey Lance. Now, again, in my opinion, would I do it? No, I wouldn't do it. He's the only quarterback that's healthy right now that knows the offense, right? But the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking because people feel that, you know, and again, if you listen to the tea leaves, which is Kyle Shanahan, Sam Darnold's incredible. He's just top talent this and top talent that and all that. And we all know, because we watched the game, that I don't get that feeling from Darnold. When they signed Darnold, I wasn't jumping up and down because I wanted Rodgers. You know, to me, when you sit there and you tell me you want that we are a win now team, I look across the field. And who are you playing for the Super Bowl? That's who I look at. And again, to me, it's easy. Best coach, best quarterback typically wins that big game, right? If you look at Pat Mahomes' stats in the season, they're record-breaking. His stats in the playoffs are mediocre, right? So there's 2 kinds of quarterbacks. There's a quarterback that finds a way to win. His stats may not be great, but he finds a way to win.
And just to draw that point out, do you know, in fact, that Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl?
I know he did. I know he did. He outplayed him. He outplayed him until he didn't.
Yeah, score-wise.
You understand? So it's like he outplayed him until he didn't. Because if you're a defensive coordinator, you're sitting on the sideline saying, you're telling your players, go get him. He can't move. Go get him. He can't run. Go get him. And what the hell happened at the end of the game? Where we have Jimmy Garoppolo
again.
We have Jimmy Garoppolo who shut himself down for a whole season because of high ankle sprain. So there's 2 different levels of competitors. It's like they play a certain way during the regular season, and then in the playoffs they kick it up a notch. Or unless a quarterback gets so hot that they just go in complete God mode, which is what Joe Flacco was. He wasn't going to be beat that year.
What he made me so damn mad.
He wasn't going to be beat that year. He was that in the playoffs. He had never played better, and he will never play that. He never played that way again. So if you have quarterbacks on your team, they say you have 2 quarterbacks. The saying is you have none. We have none. That's the reality. That's the reality. So no matter whoever says, okay, we need to trade him, we should trade him, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, because who are you going to replace him with? The only trade out there I'm interested in right now is if I send Trey Lance a 3rd and a 4th for Kirk Cousins. That makes sense to me. So we're gonna talk about trades. Let's talk about trades. To me, that makes sense because the one thing that Kirk Cousins knows, he knows Kyle Shanahan, he knows his system, and he stays healthy, and he throws 30+ touchdowns every season.
Pop, don't
right?
don't convince me that Kirk Cousins is coming because it'll depress me. I don't.
I don't.
Want,
you think Kyle cares about your depression around?
I know, right? He adds to it. I think he knows about my depression. He wants to hurt me.
If he did, and if you go back and you look at the tape, the minute that Purdy faced the real defense, he was scoring 19 points a game. And the minute that teams get tape on him, he's going to score 19 points a game because he's Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0. He can move a little bit. But that arm is a problem. He can't throw to the outside. He cannot. He's got to step into it. He can't just flick it out there. Right? So defenses are going to make him throw in the middle. And his little short butt can barely see over the line. It's physics, Ronbo. Yeah. Sometimes it's fake. He's not, what's his name? He's not what you call a Russell in his prime before Russell had to have his own office. He's not that.
Did you say his own office?
You know what I mean? He's not. He's 7th round pick. He's 7th round pick for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the reality, there are physics involved here. He's a small stature. He's coming off a bad elbow, and you just sat there and told the world, "Oh, he's the guy." And he is, because the 49ers philosophy is, if you have a locker room, you're the guy. He took the locker room. He took it from Garoppolo. He took it.
Well, Garoppolo was hurt. Let's add that.
He still took it. I will add that.
There's no way I'm going to agree with that, Pop. But I do know that he is the man now above everybody else. and at that time.
Yeah, that's what they say. And that man just said, I might not play next year.
Yeah.
Because Mullins struggled when he came back from the injury. He struggled.
Oh, God.
It took him a while to get right. So we don't know where we're at, but they better get a quarterback. Because if you got two, you got none.
We'll be having the same conversation next year. I guarantee you. They don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be from year to year. They just don't. But
they're smart. They're smart to take those calls, though. But I don't see what no one's going to trade Trey Lance. What are you going to trade for him? Someone said a number 2 to number 4. What? For a broken ankle in 3 games in 1 quarter? You going to take a 2 and a 4 for that?
Bob, we got to go. Don't get Phil all started. I'll see you Friday, Bob.
You lost your mind?
Great stuff.
Let me help you find it.
Great stuff, Bob. I can't wait to see you Friday. Let's see what develops in this whole situation.
Yeah, we'll see what's up, Ronbo.
Right,
hey, like and subscribe to Ronbo Sports. Shout out to production. Shout out to Big Show. Shout out to Jalen. Shout out to TNT. Shout out to Tony. Yeah. I'm out.
All right, Bob. Give my best to the rest of the Dragon Clan.
Yes, sir.
You got to have Bob. Man, yeah, it's so much fun. Okay, we just got to talk about Kirk Cousins, right? Let us now bring in from the firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe, Kirk Cousins' main representative from the company. He is Trey from VA. Trey, got to do some that sound. Trey's he's got new speakers or something.
And I really mean fine. Enough is enough.
Yes.
It is disgusting what's going on. It's been too cute and cuddly. So let's just, production, shout out to you. Brother Ronbo, shout out to you.
Thanks, man.
My TNT family. Trez, where you at? That's okay. That's another story.
Yeah.
Show, why do we have to do this every show? Show, why every show? Ronbo, and then you in the clickbait journalism that has been going on over the last 24 to 30, 36 hours. People are believing it. And then you, Ronbo, a trusted veteran of the broadcasting profession, a OG. You go back, Ronbo. I thought better that you would not. Let me tell you a little something.
I had to do it. The devil made me do
it, you guys are going to Ian Rappaport for your because what? Because he's on TV? Let me tell you something about Ian Rappaport. This time last year, no. This time last year, Ian Rappaport had Debo traded, didn't he? You remember that?
That's
traded
true.
to the Patriots. You remember that? No. Hold on. I've got an article right here on. Hold on, because we come with the facts. Got the facts. We don't want to talk about. On April 22nd of 2022. Funny, today's April 20th. Happy 420. Today's April 20th. So almost a year to the date, 2 days away, that he said that Deebo Samuel told the 49ers not to make him a contract offer. That is a NBC Sports article.
Yeah.
This is the guy you believe?
I remember that.
This is the guy you believe. Remember?
Did Ian set
How
the
did
fire?
he get a deal done
Set that
if he told them not? I don't know. But this is what y'all, and then they go on these national media shows, and you guys are regurgitating some of the same things I heard 12 hours ago.
I apologize. You're right. I do feel bad about that. I do
Y'all
trust
buy
Rap,
it though.
but I do trust Rap a little more than I probably should. You're right. I forgot about the Deebo.
They've been
antics.
proven to be. This is clickbait season. This is get it right. Here's why I say that, Ronbo. Y'all told me it'd take a while to learn Kyle Shanahan. Ain't that what y'all told me? So now y'all trust Sam Darnold to just go out here with a Super Bowl ready and just run the show? Brock Purdy's not even gonna be ready. This is his team, and he's not gonna be ready.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So now we're going to go with Sam Darnold and a third-round rookie to take a Super Bowl-ready team to do what? Go 0. The Carolina Panthers don't even know who their quarterback is, and they said they saw enough of Sam Darnold.
No, they like Bryce in the draft.
Who?
Bryce, the kid from Alabama.
A rookie?
Yeah.
But they could have had Sam groom him. Why he's cheap? And then they're talking about people talking about cap ramifications. Hold on. Trey Lance is $9 million is too expensive now. $9 million for a quarterback. Yeah. Too expensive.
And more expensive if you let him go.
Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing?
What's what Ian's doing?
I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out. Because we're not hurting for money.
But you can never make sense of these things. There's nothing that can... We can discuss this at several different angles.
I don't mind. This is Brock Purdy's team. This is Brock Purdy's team. But we just went through 5 quarterbacks last year, or 4 quarterbacks last year, almost 5.
And would have went through 5 if we had one more. They'd have killed.
And so now we're ready to turn it over to a quarterback that's hurt right now, Sam Darnold, and a rookie. None of this makes sense.
Yeah.
None of it. Yeah. We got to say it out loud. None of it makes sense. But what it does is it sells. It sells on TV. It gets clicks. You see what I mean? People get talking about it. We have people on our fans. They're ready to trade Trey Lance for what? For a second and a 4th? Hold on. So you told me we already have too many picks, and now we're going to go and get some more picks that aren't going to make the team?
Package them up, Trey. Package them up. Trey,
okay, so we're going to have a package of 20 picks to do what? We're going to trade 5 seconds and 10 thirds. Okay.
Trey, okay. What is of this? Make sense of this then. Now, what do you think is happening with Trey? Now, are they not going to trade him? Are they thinking about it? What are they doing?
We looked at a million. Here's what I think. We looked at a million quarterbacks last year. We decided we weren't even going to take one to the very last pick of the draft.
Yeah.
To the very last pick of the draft, right? Just because. But we weren't sold on Trey last year, though, right? We weren't sold on him. Why didn't we take a quarterback higher last year? We knew Jimmy was gone.
And then you want to get bit in the butt twice. You use a high draft pick twice like that, and pretty soon.
But we all complain about Kyle not being a quarterback developer, and now we want to go back to quarterback developer. Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, you're making nothing but sense. I have no argument.
Yeah. I'm just because I had to wait. I listened. I called late just to make sure I heard what I heard. But it just right now it doesn't make much sense to me why we're doing this. Here's the deal. If Trey Lance can't beat out Brock Purdy, so be it. Brock Purdy's better than. Great. Then Trey Lance will be a high-level backup. Where in the NFL do you not have room for a cheap, high-level backup? Why are we rushing this kid off the team? I just want to know why we're rushing. And the thing is, people are saying, well, he needs to go somewhere and play.
And wait, don't forget
when do we care about it?
Remember
when do we care about it?
He needs a fresh start. I read that
Ronbo,
last week, the fresh start. I didn't start that. I just read it.
He needs a fresh start. Let me tell you this. Brock Purdy's not ready. Trey Lance is traded. I'm not comfortable with Sam Darnold and a rookie to start my season. I'm not. We're going to get a big game. We're going to get a primetime. We might even play the Eagles.
Before we run out of time, I'd love to hear your feeling, though, about the Kirk Cousins rumors being entangled in all of this.
Okay, so let me get this straight, though. We're going to trade a cheap $9 million quarterback for a guy that's making, what, 35 off the top? So we're going to have to cut players. Yeah. We're not going to be able to sign our draft picks. None of this makes any sense, but it sells papers. and it gets you clicks.
Subscription.
Ronbo, I'm gonna gracefully bow out because I know we're gonna hear some more scenarios about how we're gonna pull off a fantastical trade. Now, it is entertaining.
Wait till
We are gonna be here after day 1 of the draft, after day 2 of the draft, and when Trey Lance is still on this team, TNT expects a full apology for the hysteria.
I bet you.
Full.
But Trey, I bet you Trez doesn't. You know. Oh wait, no, we're not talking about Kirk Cousins. That would not involve Trez's hair.
Kirk Cousins is not gonna happen. We're gonna go from $9 million to super expensive. None of this makes any sense.
11
I'll talk to you later,
got,
Ronbo.
A penalty fee is involved. A dead cap hit. See, and to me, Trey, that is the bizarre part about all of this. So I agree with that.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Talk to you later, bro.
You talk to you. Can't wait.
Yes, sir.
See you Friday. See, that's what I love about this program. We have people that are on polar opposite positions all around them, which makes this always fun. Now, Trey came in, the voice of reason. Pop came in with the extreme edge, and Phil said, I don't give a damn. This is what is up. They sort of, and then you got the big show that's like, if you got the nitro, you just pour some Big Show and then watch that explode. Hey, Bethel. And then we had Kevin tonight, too. Nothing but pure, straight sense. You couldn't really argue any point he was making. Hey, Bethel.
Hey, Ronbo.
Hey, Bethel, one thing we do as a 49er fan base, we're very experienced in this, but when it comes to quarterback conversations, we have become the gurus, the masters. We're like the Mandalorians of 49er football talk as far as the quarterbacks go around the league. We can kick ass. We can go to any team and dissect their problem by now and tell them what to expect next. God, we can't get a break.
Yeah, last caller, he kind of stole a little bit what I was going to say, but I was going to say, didn't we see that last year where we had trade rumors about Deebo Samuel, and he even Rappaport said a bunch of stuff, trade over here, and all this. Maybe they're trying to see what could they get for Trey. If it's not a blowing mind trade, then hey, we didn't say nothing. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. They're just seeing what could they get for him. If it's not worth it, then no. Then they're not gonna trade him. Because if for some reason you trade him and say, Donald does become the, quarterback, and say Trey Lance balls out and goes 5-0 and we're 2-3, then we're gonna be saying, hey, what the hell? Like, he's over there undefeated with a team that he's not a Super Bowl team, and we have a Super Bowl team and we're 2-3. We could have had him over here. We could have been undefeated over here.
That is what usually happens when you make a knee-jerk move, because the 49ers are sitting there. Some of the people have already said it, because Trey has like, you have this, the generation now is, show me now or there's the door. He's 22 years old. But then you look at what's his name last year. You got Brock Purdy. What is Brock, 21? And see, that's the kind of thing that causes problems within the 49er room.
Yeah, and then plus another thing is, say we would have got rid of Garoppolo and Purdy would have came in. Would he done the same thing without a practice, or because of that practice
from week one?
Look at what he did. So it's, you don't know, what could have happened if we would not had Garoppolo. So
because
it actually
Brock got
worked
a lot of work out there with our defense every day. Yeah, the defense is working him. He had to get better. And from what I heard, he was working our defense. Now that takes talent.
So like they always say, it's sometimes being on the sideline, helps out. And right now, Trey Lance has a big chip in his shoulder that he doesn't want to show out that, why, he got picked in the third round. The only way probably people won't say nothing if we get that second round pick off the Texans, and then you get everything and a little bit more of what you gave up. So
kinda.
And I was hearing, I think we took out somebody to train, and that's a second or first round pick, and they came from far away to do the joint practice or the practice right there in San Francisco. That is basically saying, that we're gonna go up the
the
second
49ers,
round.
we're going to get to the second round? Yeah, that conversation is picking up momentum, isn't it? The 49ers are working the phones like crazy. I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, so I was all like, okay, unless they're going to trade some draft picks to trade up, that's the only probably way I see it. And I think I heard from another 49er thing where the guy brought up a lot of needs that we need. And he said that we'll probably be using a lot of those draft picks because we need a lot of needs that we need to fill out.
But Bethel, do we have a lot of needs? I mean, we filled a lot of those with free agency. The 49ers, they're looking to see if they can bring some people in to beat somebody out, but I don't know that defensive line, that's pretty much stacked. You bring somebody in there. Offensive line, I don't know what to do about that. Cornerback,
probably offensive line, because we need to protect our quarterbacks.
Yeah, and if you can find some better offensive line, you definitely get them. But
yeah, and then I think I seen that we worked out a safety, or the pretty tall safety, that he's really good. That they're both from the same I think from the same place. That they're like 6-something tall. That we worked them out at the
I'm only hearing about certain people that they're working out, but I've not heard about this guy. And if he is, that's Steve Wilkes probably is one pointed him out. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I heard we've been working out a lot of certain people, so I'm wondering now they're gonna try to get them in the draft.
Bethel, they smoke screen us every year, though. The 49ers love to try to get you to lead you off in another direction, and then they pick up another position.
They did that with Debo.
Yep, I had no idea Kyle was going to grab Debo. Some people saw that coming, though.
Yeah, and the only way we could, if we do trade Trey, we're gonna have to restructure CMC. And maybe one more to actually trade them. So
Beth, what percentage of our team have we restructured? At some point, that's going to become a problem. You're extending all those contracts.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Because a lot of people have the math already figured out. If you ask Big Show, he'll break it down as to how you can trade and save money. Not exactly. Show how you said save money,
if you
make it work.
Restructure CMCs, I think it's only like 8. You'll be saving. So you have to maybe restructure somebody else. And I don't know who else can you restructure to get a little bit more cap
Trent
money.
Williams, I think, didn't they? Oh, they already did Trent recently.
Yeah.
And Armstead, I guess you could do Armstead. There'd be some money saved there. You haven't paid.
Oh, I've been seeing some video about Armstead. He's getting a lot thinner.
Oh, so he can get faster, maybe.
So I think they're gonna probably put him in the edge.
I hope not.
Because
we've already done this once. Armstead's a good. He sets the edge well, but I don't know about being a guy that's going to go in and get the quarterback. I don't. Well, okay.
Unless he wants to look like Aaron Donald, buff, and goes wherever you want him, wherever you could put him. If he has a little bit more speed.
Yeah, if he's getting stronger, I got no problem with that because he's playing next to Hargrave, and Eric's probably figuring out how do I get myself ready to play with this dude, you know? So look out for Javon though. we gotta
so that him not losing weight is not a not a big deal. Maybe he wants to be a little bit more faster.
Yeah, that's what it takes. You gotta lose the waistline, gain the upper body strength. Bethel, we gotta go though.
Yeah.
I'll see you. I'll be looking for you Friday.
All right.
I always love hearing.
One more point I'm gonna make is that remember we gave up on a running back because.
Hey guys, we're pushing for time now. Bethel, save it. Bookmark that, Bethel. Give it to me Friday. All right. Listen. Addicted to accident. There are rumors that Trey Lance is going to be traded. I know they're raging, ain't they? Do you believe in these rumors? After years and years of these rumors at this exact same time of the year, I'm starting to realize maybe you should wait before you get taken in hook, line, and sinker. So I have no opinion, no comment on that right now. Great show as always, and keep it up. The good work. Thanks, Addicted to Action. Thanks for the contribution too. Appreciate it, fam. All right. Hey, Tony. Rudy's got a favorite new bro now, and it's Tony in the land down under.
Ronbo.
Isn't it fun to just work Rudy? He's like a piece of clay. You can just form him in anything you want.
He molds himself into the corner, puts himself in the corner by himself without even realizing it.
Remember, Tony, haven't been there and never done that. It makes you act like that, bragging about that one Super Bowl in Los Angeles and making it seem as if we're a dominant force and have been for some time now. It's a one-year dynasty. Really?
Well, it's the same as. Dare I say it? It's the same as a homeless dude having a $1,000 Wagyu beef steak once in his life. He'll always remember it, won't he?
I know, right?
That's the only thing he's got left to cling on to. A bit like Rudy.
Or as a kid, junior high school, whatever you got your first time, you can't get over it. You're running around lying about that for about a year or two because you didn't get any more for that length of time. That's Rudy, that virgin boy in junior high school that finally got laid. Rudy, enjoy that. Anyway, Rudy's Anyway, Tony, are you paying attention here to what's going on with the wide receiver thing? I got. That's probably normal as I think about that more and more. I guess the biggest news actually is Ian Rappaport, and people have actually labeled his integrity as being above that of most trash media guys. But go ahead.
Ronbo. Trey. Ronbo.
I'm listening.
Hello.
Yeah, Tony. Did we lose a connection?
Back. Yeah, I'm driving. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I've been hearing you the whole time. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Trey from VA. I think he wanted. I think he's right on the money. It's all. How do you know John Lynch? I mean, how many times have they worked out DTR?
We hear about it every other day, right? Yeah.
Right, 2 or 3 times, and all these quarterbacks and all this horse shit. So it's all about posturing and trying to manipulate the whole draft class into thinking or believing they're going one way, and then on the day they just pull a shifty and go the complete opposite direction. I mean, how do you know John Lynch has got plenty of contact in the media? He hasn't rung him up and said, hey, Mr. Ian Rappaport, can you just start a few rumors about this and that? And blah, 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 so we can,
and we'll pay you.
you know.
Yeah.
You know, we just want to try and make this guy fall to the third round, and whether it's everyone's thinking of going for a quarterback, and they end up grabbing a tight end or something like that. You know what I mean?
You know, Tony, I don't know. Maybe I don't understand why do teams do that? I mean, I suspect that the 49ers, I can never figure out why you mislead others as to what your intentions are. How does that benefit you is what I don't understand. And I've never been able to understand that.
Well, it's like doing the pump fake and you fall for it. You know what I mean? Whoever falls for it.
But how did that help me? What was the danger of me just not saying anything?
Well, you could do it that way. That's another way to do it. But some people might think posturing towards one side or another might be a little bit more effective than just saying nothing, I suppose.
And so the Rams go and get that kid from UCLA. We're trying to pressure them so they can go get him, and then we can destroy them even beyond what we're going to. Because you know what? There's a good point, Tony. A lot of teams may take what the 49ers are doing and thinking seriously, and if we want to ruin somebody, yeah, that would be one way. But that seems like a waste of energy, though, and childish.
Well, it doesn't cost anything, does it?
Yeah, that's true.
But my biggest worry is when's the guru going to come out of his shell and carry this team on his back? Because we've as you know, as everybody knows, the defense carries us all the way to the playoffs, and then they're so tired they can't keep going.
Can't close the deal.
They can't close the deal, and this year it's time for the offense to say,
make it easy on them.
You know, listen, enough's enough. You know, we've got to make a statement here. We've got to change things around, and we've got to prove our worth.
And give more than
it's
a 10-point
easy for
lead.
Kyle. Yeah, it's easy for Kyle to be riding off the coattail. Why our defense played tremendous this week. Yeah, well, what about your side of the ball? Numbnut? Hey, don't worry about the defense. The defense is controlled by Salah or this guy or that guy or whoever.
Yeah, whoever you coach.
You don't have to worry about it. All right? You're on one of the most important sides of the ball, and yet to prove yourself in a big game.
And Tony, this goes against the argument that we're always talking about. Kyle believes that I can score points no matter what quarterback. You give me a quarterback that's not paraplegic, and I'll make him a winner. And Kyle, okay, you know what, Kyle? That's I understand building a team strong around a guy and don't get a quarterback. You got to pay him any money. But at the same time, at the end of the day, you got to pay the piper. Now, if we don't win because of what you just said, then don't come in here saying things like you like to say at the end of the year. You know?
Well, there was one instance where Brock Purdy scored, I think Lombardi quoted it, and Brock Purdy scored a touchdown, and Kyle actually went up to him and said, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that. It was a little bit too hard to do. You should have just checked it down to Christian McCaffrey."
Or
that was a touchdown. Why would you say that to him?
He wants you to run his offense. That's like I've been telling people for years about Jimmy Garoppolo. You know, guys think Jimmy Garoppolo's not a good quarterback. I said, what you're seeing from Jimmy Garoppolo is a good soldier, and he does what he's told. Kyle also got mad about, not mad, but he questioned the fact that George Kittle touchdown in the back of the end zone. Yeah, Jawan Jennings was running pretty much free. Okay, see, Kyle, you...
See what I mean? It's never ending.
Yeah.
So he's got to. That's his only in coaching. That's his only issue. Just get over it, mate. You know what I mean? Just let the boys. I am 150% sure that these guys, the defense, the offense, whatever, the whole team, if they make it to the Super Bowl, they want to tear somebody's head off. Just let them do it, Kyle. Let them do it.
And offensively,
they're going to win the game for you.
Yes. And offensively, if you got a quarterback that's a playmaker, and we saw that with Jimmy Garoppolo when he came in 2017, let him frigging play. okay? If he sees a point where he can audible and go another direction without telling you about it, then let it ride. You know? Anyway, it's well, you know what? I think Brock Purdy will do it anyway.
Rap Report is right, and they trade Trey Lance without giving him a go and not seeing him, and he goes to, I don't know, say they do a straight swap with the Minnesota Vikings for Kirk Cousins. So, you know, in theory, whatever. And he turns out to be a superstar. Kyle's going to look like a complete idiot.
And, Tony, those things are bound to happen sooner or later as the quarterback's numbers we're going through. We got to pull up, though, Tony. I'll be back Friday looking for you, as per usual. I love it.
All right, brother. Shout out to everyone. Big Show, Papa Dragon, the rest of the crew. And see you in the next show, bro.
Looking forward to it. Cheers, Tony.
Cheers, mate.
Yo, Ellis! Ellis, we're gonna. I think we're not gonna get a wide receiver. Why? Because the 49ers are doing everything they can to make you think so. This is a game the 49ers play, have us guessing every year. But it looks like the 49ers are serious about a wide receiver. Now, we got a room full of wide receivers, which is why I questioned it. And we went and got Conley. And I'm not all that unhappy with the quarterback room. Granted, I see, you're not going for a guy to beat somebody's job out. But there are other positions that you'd probably see the 49ers administer to that would make you happier? Or as I say, are the 49ers trying to fool us? And for what? And, of course, if you'd like to talk about the situation going on with Trey that's burning up the social media circles, go right ahead. Ellis, you are on.
Well, we're definitely going to go for a receiver. Just a little sidebar. I just seen Austin Watkins. I think he's playing. I don't know what league he's playing in. It's not arena.
Didn't we have him a couple of years ago? Austin Watkins.
Yeah. He broke his foot in the preseason.
Last
year, or not last year, the year before. But yeah, he's still playing. He's back working. I wonder if they'll take a look at him. I follow him on Instagram, so I've seen him, and he caught a deep ball and stuff like that. So he's still active.
But now that you mentioned people like Austin Watkins, how about the guy that couldn't stay healed up? Remember the kid we had? Has that been 3 years now? And he kept getting hurt before the season started? What's his name?
You talking about Jalen?
What's his last name? Tall kid, played for Texas. And he just could not get past the preseason, kept getting hurt. And finally, we let him go about 3 years ago. It's been 3 years, I think, now. I was wondering, has anybody heard of him?
He played running back and wide receiver?
That's him.
Yeah, I don't know why the hell I can't remember his name, too.
I can't, because it's been so long. It's been longer than I thought. I lost his name. I was wondering, is he going to come back to football? He just say, forget it, man. I can't. I'm tired of healing up.
That's a good question.
Anyway, but go ahead with Austin Watkins.
No, but I just saw him. So, but I mean, we're definitely going to go for a receiver. The Conley guy, I remember seeing him, his name before, but I don't know too much of him, and I'm not sure if this is a camp body or this is somebody Kyle's looking to try to get. We had that guy Marcus Johnson too, or something like that, and he was supposed to be pretty good and was looking all right, but then we ended up cutting him. So it's like shit. I don't know. He could just be a guy that we will kind of stream along and have him on the practice squad in case we need to bring him up and kind of just go from there. I don't think he's really going to be a factor, somebody that we are going to take seriously, as far as being on the team and getting the opportunity, like the rest of the squad, of being a part of the tree of receivers that we got. But you never really know. He could be really good, and especially playing with us. I heard a lot of good things about him.
Hey, how tall is Austin?
Austin Watkins is like I want to say 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, I thought I remember him being long.
He's tall, and he's solid though too. He's got pretty good size on him, and He's really good. You know, when he played for, I think it was Alabama, Birmingham, and stuff like that. He was really good. So I don't know. We'll see what happens though. There's going to be some sleepers out there. There's going to be some guys, some undrafted guys. There was a guy that was a tight end that was basically kind of likened to George Kittle, that played for a smaller school that could be a possible undrafted free agent that we could, end up drafting. And he actually does look a lot like George.
Yeah.
He actually did look good, and it's perfect time. I think it's fitting to get at least 2 tight ends for sure to be underlings to George right now, and I think George is going to have a really good strong season. Yeah, and get one of those guys to kind of follow in and be that next guy up. If George ends up not staying with us, or if he, whatever happens, we need somebody to kind of take over that spot, because George Kittle is irreplaceable as an all around player. But if these guys can
get some big offers though when his contract expires. What has he got? Another year and a half? Or another year? Another 2 years, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
I think 2, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong.
It ain't 3.
Maybe another.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely not 3. Definitely not. But yeah, we definitely need to have that, and we need somebody to be under Trent. We need somebody, because that's what we need to start doing, filling in the spots of the guys that are getting close to retirement, or are up in age, or are coming to who aren't going to get a second contract.
Because George, this will be number
third,
George,
exactly.
Debo, and those guys. And Debo already told you, I want to be able to get another contract. And Debo doesn't care if it's with San Francisco or who. And George may be thinking the same thing, because they're going to get a lot of money thrown at them, probably, especially within the next 2 years. They'll still be pretty much near their prime anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, it's smart. It's good for those guys. Play the. Get a few contracts in there. That's it's worth playing it like that. So they're doing what's best for them. But yeah, we have to in turn do what's best for us and make sure that we get some depth and some guys to come in this year, since we haven't. The last tight end we drafted was Ross, not Ross, but Charlie Warner, and the draft from the year before last.
Tyler Croft. What year did he join us?
Last season we picked him up. I don't know if it was before the season or if we got him in the middle of the season. I'm not sure, but we no, I don't think he was drafted. He was already in the NFL, from what I understand. Unless somebody knows that Tyler Croft was undrafted. I don't recall him being an undrafted guy. I think he was already on a team prior to getting with us, and we just took him.
Yeah,
the Broncos or somebody, or.
Yeah, I know. I
Maybe
can't remember.
I could be wrong.
And I still want to know what's his
name. But he wasn't drafted, though.
What's his name's name? That big dude that couldn't stay healthy. And I was curious about him as to, has anything happened to him? It seems like his name is Jalen something. Anyway.
Which guy are you talking about?
I'm still talking about the guy that got injured and couldn't, and I had great promise for him. The guy that's running back and turned receiver, stopped playing running back because he was getting hurt.
His first name was Jalen. Yeah.
All the great players are named
We talked about him for a long time.
I know. Else we got to pull up though. But I will be looking for you as always coming Friday. All right.
Yeah, and the Trey noise, man. I'm not buying none of that shit. I don't want to hear none of that. That would be foolish. Yeah, Sam Darnold is a turnover machine between his fumbles and his 55 interceptions. I keep hearing everybody talk about the system and all this other bullshit. The system don't have nothing to do with decision making. When you turn the ball over, those are based on decisions, not a system, not the team that you play for.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you're coughing up the ball the way that he was, that's just it's a lose having those kind of guys on the team. So I'm really not too excited about any of that, but it would be foolish to get rid of Trey and then be banking on having Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy, and a damn rookie quarterback. Because once Sam Darnold, Brock's not guaranteed to come back, it just doesn't make sense. It's not good math.
All right.
So,
all right, fam.
cut the shit.
Yeah. Let's see what it goes. Let's see where it goes between now and Friday if it picks up any more steam. All right, fam. I'll look for you there.
Shit, shout out to Rudy Ronbo. Rudy's got the Rudy just got a trophy for the Hot Pocket eating contest and with Hot Pocket and Pepsi drinking contest. I told him that's about the most talent that he's got. He keeps, running his mouth and jumping in these chats, trying to mess with me. I was like, well, you know what, Rudy, the talent that you got is not the kind of talent you want to have.
Yeah, and yes,
Anyway.
I agree. Hey, fam, you're my best to the squad too.
Shout out to Rudy, man. Hit that treadmill.
Night, Ellis. Rudy. Hey, Tony, and here's another person that's on top of the popularity list with Tony as well. Hey, Tony.
Good evening, Ronbo. Good
evening.
How are you, sir?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, I can't wait. As the closer we get to the draft, the more exciting it gets. I'm hearing the 49ers are not just sitting around and thinking, well, we got plenty of third-round draft picks, so we go from there. I knew they weren't going to. I knew it. But, yeah, so our draft's going to be exciting more than I expected. But, hey.
Man, who's coming up with these stories with these smoke and mirrors? Trey to here, Trey to there. I heard Trey to the Houston Texans, Trey, Ayuk, and a 7th-round pick to the Houston Texans for their first-round pick. I'm like, I don't believe none of that.
No, that's unbelievable. But I saw that one involved the Texans also that involved Kirk Cousins. And then I says, wait, but Kirk Cousins ends up in Texas, and I stopped reading at that point. I saw that Kirk Cousins ends up with Texas, and we end up with what? Why do we need to get involved in that in the first place? So,
Yeah, I had sent you that CBS report earlier today about Trey Lance being traded.
Yeah.
49ers taking calls. I don't believe it.
Yeah, I know. It's just any Rappaport gets his name in there. Now you think, what? Okay, now you have to blink at least, right? Tony, you got Stroud is paying a visit to Atlanta.
Yeah, another smoke and mirrors. Actually, Ronbo, first they said Stroud this morning. Then they said Stroud, Richardson, which I despise, and Levis, the quarterback from Kentucky, are paying a visit to Atlanta. Well, they can pay a visit to Atlanta all they want. We're not trading up.
Yeah. And, they can visit. You got some great food houses in Atlanta and stuff like that. Enjoy the city. Yeah.
Strip clubs.
So, we can't share all that information.
Yes,
sir. This is the time when all that stuff starts rolling and rolling and rolling. You got to pick and choose.
Exactly.
Of,
you know why, Ronbo? Because we got 8 days. We got 8 days to the draft. That's why.
Yeah. And Tony, have you ever? And that's why I've asked earlier about what is the potential positive effect of sending out a lot of BS so everybody can. When you hear certain things, if I'm a GM and I hear this, and this, maybe the 49ers aren't getting any calls for Trey Lance, but that was their way of initiating it. So you send it out there. If I'm sitting in whatever city, John.
Yeah.
We've been
I've also heard
too long for that.
I've also heard that it's a done deal. Carolina is going to take Bryce Young, and they say there's 6 teams involved in calls to the Houston Texans for that 2nd overall pick.
How many teams? 6 or 16? 6 teams want that first-round pick.
6. Yep.
Well, I can believe that because the first-round pick is serious. And so
Indianapolis is one of them. You know how Mr. Spotlight, Jerry Jones, always meddling. But Jim Irsay, who can't put the bottle down because he stays liquored up, he meddles a lot too, Ronbo. And he doesn't let his general manager do his job. If Indianapolis is interested in trading from 4 to 2 for that pick, I think that's stupid because they're going to have to give up some other picks. Just stay where you at and take one of the quarterbacks available.
Indy, they when they take shots, they go big time. I mean, they took the 49ers, they took Defoe away because the fact they offered a huge amount of money above where the 49ers were willing to pay, right? So Indy says, well, we'll get our man. Believe that, even if we have to pay him the house. And also, if we're going to do this and this, we'll trade whatever direction we want to, and damn what anybody says. They really are a gunslinging group, aren't they? They're not winning any championships, though. they're not getting to the playoffs either. Ever since what's his name left, they've been a house on fire.
And it's funny you should say that because I heard Indy trading their first round pick at 4 to Houston with DeForest Buckner. I heard that one too.
You know, hey, you might believe that one because D'Amico Ryans will be chomping at the bit.
D'Amico Ryans, yep.
Yeah, D'Amico would love to see Defo come to Texas.
Yep. So I've heard that one too, man. But I'm not buying it. I'm just don't be surprised. The Tennessee Titans at 11 are one of those teams. They got to be one of those teams because Houston at 2 to trade their pick. And don't forget, you and I talked about this last week, the Arizona Cardinals at pick number 3.
The Cardinals need more than.
Don't be surprised.
The Cardinals need multiple picks. You know, that doesn't necessarily be first round.
Exactly.
They need multiple picks. And
that's why they would trade down.
Are the Texans going to move Derrick Henry? I mean, not the Texans. I mean, the Titans going to move Derrick Henry. You know, he could be a major.
Cut him, and I heard Minnesota's going to cut Dalvin Cook.
I saw the Dalvin Cook. And was that you who mentioned that Derrick Henry might get cut? What do I do without Derrick Henry from the Titans? He is my offense.
Maybe they're going in a different direction, Ronbo.
So we're talking rebuild? That's what you have to do. You have to change the whole scheme, the whole strategy, the whole way of thinking. Because Derrick Henry would soften up defenses, and then Tannehill could do a little throwing.
But it might be about a money situation, and Derrick Henry does have tread on the tires. That's why I don't want him in Atlanta.
Yeah,
I like Tyler Algier.
Yeah, when you got 10, 15 guys trying to tackle you at all times because that's the only way to bring you down, yeah, that can wear on a man. I don't care how big you are.
Rambo, you got to admit, that rumor I heard, that doesn't sound like the 49ers trading Trey Lance, Brandon Ayuk, and a 7th-round pick for that 2nd overall pick. That don't sound like you guys at all.
I will guarantee you that's not going to happen. The 49ers are not about to get rid of Brandon Ayuk and Trey. And how many? A 4th-round pick?
A 7th-round pick.
That's too much. Unless the 49ers have a specific target in mind.
Right.
I don't know who that could be.
2nd overall.
What's that? Is it Peach?
They said the 2nd overall pick and a 4th-round pick go to you guys. That's what they said.
2nd and what? What is that big kid? Peach starts with a P. The tight end that everybody's raving about. That's as fast as George.
Does he play Division 1 or Division 2?
I'm not sure.
I got Michael Meyer of Notre Dame, Tucker Kraft of South Dakota State.
Keep going.
Darnell Washington of Georgia, Luke Musgrave of Oregon State. He's good. Dalton Kincaid of Utah. Those are the top 5. Then you know about Shoemaker of Michigan. But Rambo, here's a tight end I like. You guys might want to look at. He's the 10th. He's ranked 10th on this board here, but he's moving up. You heard about Sam Laporte?
That's the guy. That's the guy I was thinking about. I've heard that guy.
He reminds me of George Kittle.
Yes,
he reminds me of George Kittle.
That's what I heard. Tape. That's the guy.
And same school too. Same school.
Oh, did he go to Iowa? Oh my God! You know, that's why the 49ers. But you say he's ranked. You think he's ranked around number 10?
They got him ranked 10th here. Yep. But he's moving up on the draft boards as far as.
See, we got to go, Tony. But as soon as you start comparing names like George Kittle to anybody, then people are going to look at him. So.
Yep.
But anyway.
6'4", 255.
Oh, that's a good size. And if he can block and he goes to Iowa, he can.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, Tony, I tell you what, I will see you Friday as we close out the week and see what develops with more of these trades and and clickbait.
And Allen Robinson finally got set free from purgatory in Inglewood.
He's in Pittsburgh. I saw that.
He got traded for Pittsburgh. The Rams gave him and their 7th-round pick of 251. Pittsburgh gave the Rams their 7th-round pick at 234 in return. I know Allen Robinson was happy.
Oh, God. Of course, happiness is L.A. in your rear view mirror. Tony, I'll see you Friday. Thanks. Appreciate you. You know that.
I'll see you Friday, sir.
All right.
All right, take care.
You too. That's funny. I already made a joke about that. Sir Payne, I heard Trey Lance wasn't even there for day one of OTAs and stayed. Okay, that's the second person to say that. I thought I heard Trey was, the second day. No, day one. I thought I heard all of them were in the same room for the first time, and now people are saying Trey's out in Hawaii eating poi and learning how to dance hula. Trey is tired, getting tired of the Niners not having his back. You know what? If this is true, the 49ers would take exception to that. Okay, guys, somebody confirm that. Trey's in Hawaii? Really? No way. No way. Hey, Merrick, maybe Merrick knows. Merrick, Sir Payne, thanks for that contribution. I'm just in shock because I can't believe Trey would actually do that. Merrick.
How's it going, Ronbo?
Merrick, it's going okay. Now, Merrick, have you heard anything about Trey in Hawaii right now?
I have not.
I thought I heard about I saw Reading article. All three quarterbacks were in the same room at the same time, and Trey got in a plane after that night, first night, and flew to Hawaii. Nah.
No.
Okay, well maybe he did. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything, but I follow him on Instagram. I saw him chilling on like a lounge chair, but I didn't know if that was Hawaii or just like California beaches.
Merrick, nobody has lounge chairs. He is in Hawaii. You see the sand? Nah. Trey Lance is not that brazen.
I mean, at the same time, it could have been like a California beach. There's a lot of great beaches there.
He's not supposed to be at the beach of any place. He's supposed to be at the Santa Clara facility. You know, if this is true, that story's going to blow up. And that's going to give credence to the 49ers. Yeah, well, the 49ers are fielding calls for any trade involving Trey Lance. See, because I find it hard to believe that the 49ers would try to trade Trey Lance, especially on this particular date. You know? I
think they just like to do their due diligence.
Why due diligence Trey? I mean,
I think they just like to hear any offers. I mean, if they get an offer good enough, I mean, would you trade Trey?
Well, here's the thing. We ran out of quarterbacks last year. I'm not trading Trey. You know, you lose money trading Trey, too. And the 49ers are so concerned with the cash. Nah, it just doesn't make any sense. Of course, the 49ers done a couple of things I didn't understand. The Hargrave thing still blows my mind. $85 million. Well, we're kind of cash strapped this year, so we're going to have to be pretty frugal in our efforts to improve the roster. But okay, $85 million. How frugal is that? Guys, I like the deal, but I thought you said you didn't have any money. That's why I'm always like, 49ers are always full of shocking surprises. They wouldn't ask Judge permission for that. They told the whole story later to get that money. And Judge just said, look, guys, I don't mind spending the money. Just don't bring me back an average player.
Yeah, I mean, didn't Hargrave have double-digit sacks last year?
He's not average.
He's really good, especially for an interior defensive lineman.
The guy's a wrecker, just a maniac. I love it. And that's why you're hearing stories about Armstead getting in shape. So I'm going to play next to this guy. He ain't making me look bad. Armstead's expected to get quicker to that quarterback too from the interior. He doesn't need to play the edge.
Yeah. I mean, our D-line's going to be very nasty. We got Hargrave, Armstead, Bosa. Maybe Cleveland, we can resurrect Cleveland Farrell's career, and he can be a really good companion alongside Bosa.
You got Drake Jackson out there, too. I'm looking forward to his moves this year. Also, wide receivers. We're looking at wide receivers. Looks like we're bringing them into Santa Clara a lot. This is one of those moves the 49ers always do. They start to emphasize one particular group, and just really keep calling them in. If I see 4 or 5 receivers between now and next week, I would say, Okay, Niners, you're overdoing it. You're not getting a receiver until the 5th round at the earliest. What are you doing with those third round picks? Are you moving up to the 2nd round like some people are speculating? How did they get that information? It's really fun trying to figure out the 49ers. Maybe all fan bases go through this, though. Maybe every team is doing this. I don't know. Don't pay much attention. I know the Rams aren't. When you're the Rams, you can't fool anybody. You're in deep, deep poo-poo.
Yeah.
No picks, no money. I can't think of a
No
team.
fans either.
Yeah. I can't think of a team that I enjoy watching best in that position. Super Bowl defending Rams come back and lose more games of a Super Bowl champion the following year in NFL history. Yeah. Rudy, I know you're already over at Twitter. I'll be there. I ain't scared of you. I don't know why you think so. Anyway, Merrick, wide receivers. Are we going to get one of those first 3 picks? We're going to move up and get a tight end? Or what are we going to do?
I don't think a wide receiver is going to be one of our first 3 picks, but I do think we are going to draft a wide out maybe in like the 5th round.
Mm-hmm. Are you on in the club of get a offensive tackle or offensive lineman with that first or 3rd round pick? Because the best offensive linemen are usually taken late in the 2nd.
Yeah,
and 3rd
I definitely
rounds.
think our first pick should be an offensive lineman.
Shades of Mike McGlinchey. Remember when we did that years ago?
Yeah.
Because McKivitz is not a road grader. Kyle needs a road grader. It's just his offense. Our offense needs somebody who can move people. You know, and McKivitz is good at protecting the quarterback. We're not. The only reason we're play action. We like to move in a way where it keeps things fluid. We can make decisions at the line of scrimmage with play action, whether it's going to be run or throw the ball. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe McKivitz is working on that part of his game. I don't know.
And I think any offensive lineman we get, unless we get like an absolute steal somehow, is definitely going to be backup, at least for this season.
Yeah. Yeah, because it takes too long to learn. And the other guys are ahead of him already. So you're right. You're absolutely right. America, anything else you want to add? Go ahead.
I think our first 2 picks are probably going to be an offensive lineman with our first pick. And we trade up into the 2nd round for him. I think after that, it's going to be our 2nd pick. It's going to be secondary, whether it's corner or safety.
Yeah, because those are the next line. And safety's probably the first.
We're also going to grab a tight end. I think we're also going to try to grab a tight end as a backup for Kittle.
Yeah, no, a tight end, because this draft is rich with tight ends. They're going to want a real competitor. That may be why the 49ers have been rumored to be moving up into the 2nd round. They do have a tight end targeted. Because you know how they are. Once the 49ers make up their mind,
but I'd rather get an offensive lineman.
Well, yeah,
because I think that's a more important need right now than a tight end.
Everybody agrees, but they want somebody they can put next to George Kittle, and also they're starting to think probably George Kittle is very instrumental in the 49ers' success. He's getting up there. He gets hurt every year. The guys that are on there aren't getting it done. They're not measuring up anywhere near the level of George Kittle. They may have put big importance in a tight end. I don't know. Because, the 49ers are very laid back when it comes to offensive linemen, so we'll see. All right, Merrick. I guess we'll see.
Those are my 2 cents on the matter.
Yeah, I think it was worth a dime at least. Merrick, I'll be back Friday. We'll see you then.
All right, draft next week. Starting to get exciting.
Isn't it crazy? Already. All right. Night, Merrick.
Right.
Well, there you go. We've examined the Trey Lance saga. And I call it a saga because it's probably got other episodes coming up. The 49ers and their antics to make you believe something that's not really happening. It's always cloak and dagger with the 49ers. I do really think they're going to pick up a wide receiver. But they, at the rate they're going and not looking at any other position at the moment, makes you think, yeah, that's all we're concerned about. Really? Seriously? Okay. Okay. Watching the 49ers, those of us who've been for a while know what you guys like to do. We know your style. And by the way, if we know your style, every GM in the league knows your style as well. You're not fooling anybody in L.A., Green Bay, or Texas. Why? Or Miami. Why? Because all our people are over these places. So you take out 4 or 5 teams right away. Damn! Enough of my nonsense. Thank you for the contributions tonight, fam. Always appreciated. Please subscribe. We want to keep you around as part of the Ronbo Sports family. And we'll see you Friday. And hit that like before you leave. Rams fans, y'all don't have to show up every day. All right? We'll be fine without you. Coming here starting all that trouble. You too, J.D. Clowns.